Chapter 808. In the hall. Following LV Jin's narration, Fong Ping and the rest had a general understanding of the sect era. The sect era spanned a long time. Since the 100 schools of thought, sects had been established. Hence, from that time onwards, the bounded domain was created. The old antiques of the bounded domain were almost all figures from that period. When the sect era began, there was a division between the North and the South. The two sects had different ideals in the beginning, but the estrangement grew increasingly worse in the later stages, and in the end, it evolved into hostility and even war. After listening for a while, Fong Ping thought for a while and asked, "Old LV, did the senior of the bounded domain say anything about the king battleground? What role did the two kings and the catacombs play in the early days of the sect era?" Fong Ping paused and continued. From the current situation, it seems like the bounded domain was more like an internal conflict, which led to the King Battleground and the King Battlegrounds War. However, I feel that the war between the North and South sects, logically speaking, has nothing to do with the catacombs. However, it seems like the catacombs played a very important role. Also, was the establishment of Imperial Sea Hill before or after the bounded domain? LV Jin thought for a while and said after a while, "I'm not too sure about the specifics. The bounded domain probably existed at the same time as Imperial Sea Hill. I seem to have some clues about this. The senior mentioned it once, but he rarely appeared. In these 3 years, he only appeared a few times, and he didn't speak much either." "All right," LV Jun said immediately. "The bounded domain's existence should have only appeared after the Forbidden Sea appeared. I think the cat mentioned this once. Once when I was cultivating, the cat said that cultivation was too boring, and it was a pity that I couldn't go fishing at the Forbidden Sea now," LV Jin said with a strange look in his eyes. "No, I don't think that's what it said. It said that when the bounded domain was established, others were either cultivating or building sects. Only a few fellows had nothing to do, so they went fishing at the Forbidden Sea every day. This should be what it meant." Fong Ping looked confused. "Fishing? Fishing at the Forbidden Sea? Damn. That cat in the Kuoking Mountain is so leisurely and carefree." At the side, Zhang Tao couldn't help but laugh. "So you're saying that the cat is very lazy?" LV Jun smiled bitterly. "More or less, it rarely appears, but as long as the sun in the domain is a little bigger, it will appear, find a place to bask in the sun, and sometimes come and talk to me." Everyone couldn't help but laugh. How could a desperate realm cat have such a bad taste? When LV Jun saw them laughing, he suddenly thought of something and said solemnly, "The green cat doesn't seem to be a native demonic beast of Kuokang Mountain. It had a master, or a family, or a parent, and was also a powerhouse. I heard it mention it once. I didn't hear it very clearly, but it seemed to be saying that when it was young, a big dog bullied it, and it called a lot of experts to take revenge. It seems like they were all top-notch experts. Big dogs." Li Hansong suddenly looked at Qin Fengqing. Qin Fengqing's face was ashen. "What does that mean? Why are you looking at me? Damn, he wanted to hammer Tai Tu to death right now. A long time ago, this bastard said that he was the reincarnation of the howling celestial dog. If he wasn't this guy's opponent, he would have beaten him up long ago." LV Jin's purpose was not to talk about the big dog's problem, but rather the fact that the cat was blowing the whistle to call people. Not the people of the domain, but other people. LV Jun had done a lot of research on the ancient martial arts period. As he spoke, he said in a deep voice, "I suspect that Song Mao is a demon from the apatheicized period. It could be a pet of a powerful expert or a descendant of a powerful demon race. If the old cat can live until now, what about the others?" Investiture of the gods. On the side, the warlord suddenly sighed with emotion. Some things are actually very clear now. Humans had gone through 5 periods: the ancient martial era, the apatheicized era, the sex era, the Saturn era, and the new martial era. The ancient martial era could no longer be traced back. However, there seemed to be something about the apatheicized era. Some legendary figures might not have truly died. The era of conferred gods and the era of sex were connected. Some characters from the era of sex might have been powerhouses from the era of conferred gods. Today, the majority of the living people in the domain had probably lived from the investiture of the gods era until now. There are traces left behind from these eras. Only the ancient martial era is completely unknown. As the warlord spoke, he said slowly, "All of you have seen some historical records of the catacombs. The two kings were actually characters from the Demon Emperor era. Was the Demon Emperor a character from the ancient martial era or the apotheosized era? The two kings led the remnants of their troops to flee to the desolate border. What does this mean? Are there any great enemies in the depths of the Forbidden Sea? Or could it be that the end of the Demon Emperor era was caused by the war with humans? The appearance of the Forbidden Sea is also related to the end of the Demon Emperor era? Zhang Tao did not utter a word while the warlord was speaking. When he was done, the others fell silent. Zhang Tao then murmured, "I'm thinking about a question. Was the Demon Emperor a catacombs human or an earthling human?" Everyone was stunned. What was Zhang Tao thinking? Zhang Tao said lightly, "Actually, I've been thinking that the two realms were originally connected." "Is it possible that the two realms were originally one?" Fang Ping interrupted. "Minister, our physiological structure is different from the catacombs humans. We don't belong to the same race." Zhang Tao chuckled and shook his head. "Life is full of miracles. Everything is possible. The catacombs humans, could it be that they were originally like this?" Zhang Tao's eyes flickered. "Actually, all of you have forgotten something. The energy sun. The catacombs humans are different from us. If the energy sun is used as a radiation source, then after a long period of radiation, it will cause the human race to mutate." Zhang Tao looked around and smiled. "Since none of you are sure, then I'll give you a guess. Actually, the two realms were one back then. I'm talking about the ancient martial era. During the ancient martial era, there was no distinction between the catacombs and Earth. Perhaps even the world barrier did not exist. A group of martial artists in the beginner stage became stronger and stronger. They were already completely separated from ordinary people. At this time, these people were thinking, "I've already become a god and a saint. Why do I still have to live in the same world as ordinary people?" Therefore, some ancient martial artists thought of creating a real, immortal world, separating this world. Perhaps the catacombs was the immortal world they wanted to create. The key to this was the energy sun. A group of terrifying powerhouses artificially created a sun filled with endless energy to provide energy to the immortal world. They lived in the catacombs, or in their eyes, the immortal world. Gradually, they were separated from humans. Because of this, the apotheosized era began. Back then, there were probably many ancient martial artists who lived in the catacombs. They brought their descendants and subjects to the catacombs to live the life of immortals. They separated the two realms. Ordinary people could no longer enter the immortal world as they wished. However, some accident may have happened later, causing the immortal world to be destroyed. Those powerhouses all disappeared. At this time, the Demon Emperor seized the victory and unified the immortal world. They began to officially separate themselves from humans. Fang Ping listened for a while, but did not speak. Li Jun said in a low voice, "Zhang Tao, what's the purpose of your guesses?" Zhang Tao smiled. "Actually, what I want to say is that some things are still worth investigating. Actually, I've always been curious about the catacombs' energy sun. How was this sun born? Where does unlimited energy come from? Or rather, where is this sun? Even if we fly hundreds of thousands of meters in the sky, we still can't find it. We can't even determine the direction of the energy sun. Are there people on this sun?" After countless years of energy radiation, the catacombs produced countless mineral veins. If there are people living on this sun, Li Jun, you can imagine how terrifying it would be. Living in a place with unlimited energy, where the energy emitted is so dense that it can produce hundreds of true kings in the catacombs. How terrifying is that? Li Jun said nothing more. As for Fang Ping, he was a little curious. The first time he went to the catacombs, he was already attracted by the big sun. The abundance of energy in the catacombs had a lot to do with this sun. Did Zhang Tao mean that this sun was man-made? Perhaps there were people living on the sun? Could the catacombs and Earth's humans be the same race? However, Some of Zhang Tao's words were somewhat contradictory to the catacombs. Fong Ping remembered Feng extermination, said that humans were originally extremely strong. It was only when the energy dried up that they declined. Could it be that the creation of this sun caused the Earth's energy to dry up? Fong Ping shook his head. History was confusing. Some of the old antiques wanted to show themselves now. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that it was full of suspense. Ancient martial artists, mythical figures, sect leaders, modern powerhouses, these people went up the stage one after another. The neo-martial arts era might really be a huge key point. All he had to do was listen to these things and remember them in his heart. Fong Ping felt that he had not reached the peak yet. Even if he knew now, it might not be of much use. Very quickly, Fong Ping forcefully changed the topic and said, "Minister, now that the Vice-Chancellor is awake, and I've discussed with the demons in the bounded domain, we should talk about the counterattack now." Zhang Tao saw that he was unwilling to continue talking about this, so he did not dwell on it. He smiled and said, "Didn't you arrange it? Then let's just follow your plan. Just set a time, and it's fine. As for the personnel, I'll ask Wu Chuan and Tian Mu to come as soon as possible. Right? Rank 7 and 8 martial artists. Who do you want to come? There aren't many rank 7 and 8 martial artists here in MCMAU. Fong Ping said, "I want to recruit a group of Grandmaster powerhouses from Magic City. After all, taking down Magic City's catacombs is beneficial to everyone. Also, Wang Jinyang, Yao Qingjun, and the others will come too. This time, I want to recruit some middle-rank martial artists from martial arts universities." Fong Ping said slowly, "Including the middle-ranked martial artists from NMAU and First Military School. The middle-ranked martial artists from MCMAU and Wuhan Military School are now close to 6,000 people. If we can recruit a group of middle-ranked martial artists from martial arts universities, if we can gather a middle-ranked army of 10,000 people, then after we win, we can start cleaning up Magic City's catacombs." After the battle of the high ranks, Fong Ping and the others could no longer participate in the battle of the middle and low ranks. They still had to focus on the low-rank martial artists. Once they participated in the massacre, it would force the catacombs to launch an all-out war. Although it might not happen, true king powerhouses might attack the outer domain at any time in the future and massacre humans. This was the last thing that humans wanted to see. As Fong Ping said this, Warlord laughed and said, "How about letting some of those young people from Star Town come this time? The rank 7 region in the battleground is a mess because of you. Now, it's hard to enter the rank 8 region, and the rank 9 region is even more chaotic. Don't worry, when you've reached the high ranks, Star Town's martial artists often participate in battles. They don't lack actual combat experience. Participating in the Battle of Magic City is also to let you group of young people get more familiar. The future is still yours." Warlord lamented, "We're all old. You're still young. Right now, you're also in the golden period of cultivation. If the battle in the future lasts for a long time, you'll be the masters sooner or later. All these years, you've been fighting on your own. You're not familiar with each other. It's time to get to know each other and get to know each other. This is to prevent the people in the same camp from not knowing each other in the later stages. There's no camaraderie at all." Zhang Tao heard this and laughed. Star Town is willing to go to the outer domain to fight now. The battleground of the kings is almost gone. If we don't come to the outer domain to fight, are we really going to Mount Royal Sea to kill demons? Warlord chuckled. Old Devil Lee and the others have been sending people to the battleground of the kings for the sake of the 2 kings. Right now, the 2 kings seem to be reviving. The situation inside is also very complicated. Let's wait and see. However, Old Devil Lee and the others have been eyeing the battleground of the kings for many years. I'm afraid they won't give up easily. In the later stages, they might make a move. Zhang Tao, you have to be prepared." Zhang Tao nodded slightly. Star Town's top powerhouses had been eyeing these 2 places for the past few years. The outer domain and the battleground of the kings. Right now, the battleground of the kings might be completely opened. With the 2 kings reviving, Heavenly King Jin and the others might have their own ideas. Zhang Tao responded and said, "Then let Star Town send some people over. However, if they come to the outer domain, they will have to listen to orders. There are many unruly fellows in Startown. Just don't cause us trouble. Unruly. Warlord laughed. That depends on who you're dealing with. Warlord glanced at Fong Ping below. With this guy here, would those little fellows dare to be unruly? The others were all seniors. If the juniors of Startown overstepped their boundaries, they could not say anything. However, were Fong Ping and the others easy to deal with? If they really dared to cause trouble here, this guy would not be polite. As for the few troublemakers in Startown, that kid from his own family was one of them. Jiang Hao was the most troublemaker among the troublemakers, but that guy also submitted to Fong Ping. How many of the others would dare to cause trouble? The junior of the Li family, that Li Yiming, was also a troublemaker. Now, seeing Fong Ping was like seeing a plague. This time, he was probably in the Shishan catacombs and would not come here. Fong Ping did not care about Warlord's gaze. He said, "Then it's settled. I'll contact people these few days. We'll meet at MCMU on the 25th. As for the specific time of attack, we'll discuss it when everyone is here. Also, we'll communicate about the situation in Shishan and Shijiang. MCMU will handle those below True King. Even if there are any accidents, we'll try our best to solve them. However, the True King powerhouses and the 3 ministers will have to rely on you," Li Jun said indifferently. "Don't worry. We'll handle the True King powerhouses. However, Fong Ping, I still have to remind you, if you can't do it, then give up. We also know a little about your thoughts. If you want to turn the Magic City catacombs into the Forbidden Catacombs, it'll be very difficult. If you can't quickly defeat the local powerhouses in the Magic City catacombs, then the restricted area will soon have endless reinforcements. Also, this time the summit has not yet reached an agreement. You have to be careful of the 2 forbidden areas in the Magic City catacombs. In a war like this, they might intervene." Fong Ping nodded. Beside him, LV Jun gave Wu Quishan a strange look. Who was in charge in MCMAU? Did his son-in-law not become the vice-chancellor? Why did it sound like Fong Ping was in charge now? Wu Quishan pretended not to see it. "Don't look at me, I don't care. I finally led MCMU to fight a battle when Fong Ping was not around. In the end, we suffered a crushing defeat. The entire army was almost wiped out. Even I almost died. He was also responsible for Huang Jing's death. That day, Huang Jing and the others could have evacuated. However, Huang Jing insisted, and he did not persuade him. Now that he was not dead and could advance further, Huang Jing and many of the teachers and students were dead. As a vice-chancellor, he did not feel good. The teachers and students might not blame him, but following Fong Ping, they had always won big. In the end, Fong Ping had only disappeared for a few days when MCMU was defeated and lost the Magic City catacombs. Now, the counterattack had to be led by Fong Ping. Wu Quishan felt that it was better for him to be a fighter. Thinking back, he had been thinking that when Fong Ping sent him to the summit one day, he would not care whether he was a vice-chancellor or not. This time, if he did not choose to give up, he might really be able to step into the summit. If that was the case, then he would continue to let Fong Ping lead. Moreover, I'm the vice-chancellor after all. If we win, it's my credit. If we really lose, it's because of Fong Ping's poor command. Wu Quishan thought in his heart. He glanced at Fong Ping. If you want to be the vice-chancellor, then prepare well. This battle was quite important. In this counterattack, MCMU was united. If they lost, it would be troublesome. Fong Ping's legend of invincibility would also be broken. After confirming the gathering time, Zhang Tao and the others were also busy people. They quickly dispersed. However, LV Zhan was taken away. Zhang Tao and the others still had some questions, including the mentality cultivation method. Fong Ping did not care about this. Although he was not on good terms with Old Zhang recently, Old Zhang would not harm LV Zhan. Before leaving, LV Zhan suddenly said, "About MCMU's counterattack, see if you can arrange for me to participate. If it's not suitable, I have something to give everyone later." Fong Ping was a little puzzled. Wu Quishan, on the other hand, was a little surprised. He smiled and said, "Old LV, in these few years, have there been any research results?" LV Zhan was still polite to Fong Ping, but not to Wu Quishan. He said lightly, "Do you think I've really been idle these few years? In the past, I've always been shackled by mentality. Some things are difficult to do. However, in these few years, there are some results Fong Ping did not understand." Zhang Tao, who was in front, smiled faintly. LV Zhun is an expert in many research institutes. He's involved in a wide range of areas. I don't know what results he has this time. I hope it can bring some surprises. LV Zhun smiled. "I will. Not only that, Minister, regarding the space stabilization of the storage ring, I think I have some ideas. This time, I also want to talk to you about these things." After hearing this, Fong Ping felt a little dizzy. Beside him, Lu Fengru seemed a little proud. She glanced at Fong Ping and said lightly, "Your Grandmaster is the initiator of many projects, including the storage ring. It was also your Grandmaster who researched and developed it. In these few years, when your Grandmaster is not around, the progress has been stagnant. Do you understand?" Fong Ping saw Lu Fengru's proud look on her father's face and did not know whether to laugh or cry. Then, he could not help but look at Zhang Tao. Since LV Zhun was this kind of expert, why did he let him go to the catacombs? If he died in the catacombs, would it not be a great loss? Also, how did LV Zhun travel thousands of miles to the bounded domain land? Could it be arranged by Old Zhang? Quechang Mountain might have mentality cultivation methods. Did Old Zhang know? LV Zhun was also an elite in this area. Maybe there were some other factors involved. Now, Fong Ping was more and more suspicious that LV Zhun going to the bounded domain land was arranged by Old Zhang. Without giving Fong Ping time to think, LV Zhun and the others left very quickly. As for Fong Ping, he had to busy himself with his own matters. At the same time when Fong Ping and the other high-rank powerhouses were preparing for the counterattack, the time and venue of the 3rd Martial Arts University Championship had also been confirmed. December 18th. The 3rd championship would be held in MCMAU. As the #1 elite university, powerhouses were everywhere. The championship should have been held in MCMAU. Last year, when it was held in CCMEU, it attracted a lot of criticism. Coincidentally, MCMEU had also begun to contact some martial arts universities. It was a good opportunity to go to Magic City together. On the day Fong Ping returned, he did not see Fong Yuan. That was because Fong Yuan was undergoing training. Building of practical training. Fong Yuan looked around innocently. She did not want to participate in the competition. She was only a middle stage rank 3. But now, there were 10 people in the team, and 9 of them were peak rank 3. She was the only one who was a middle stage rank 3. What was she trying to do? "I don't want to take this back door, okay?" Among the 10 people, Fong Yuan was the shortest and the weakest. Unfortunately, the instructor in charge of leading the practical training team was Bai Ruashi. Bai Ruashi's attitude said that the competition was all up to her and that MCMAU was counting on her. This made Fong Yuan feel even more helpless. Building of practical training. Fong Yuan struggled for a long time. She could not hold it in anymore. She said pitifully, "Instructor, can I not be the captain? I'm only a middle stage rank 3. She was the captain. Fong Yuan was going crazy. There were 9 peak rank 3, and she was actually asked to be the captain. What was the meaning of this? Bai Ruashi smiled faintly. Your brother, Fong Ping, was the captain of MCMAU in the first and second championship. In the first championship, there were even rank 2 participants. He was only rank 1, but he still led MCMAU to the championship. You are Fong Ping's sister. It is glory, but it is also pressure. If Fong Ping can do it, you can too. Don't you want to improve your strength to reduce the pressure on your brother? Then this is your chance to show off. Fong Yuan, whether you could do your best or not depends on you. Fong Yuan was speechless. She mumbled, but my strength is not peak rank 3 yet. The gap is huge. Otherwise, instructor, can I bring equipment to the stage? My brother has an armor made from a rank 9 monster's golden armor. If I put it on, they probably won't be able to break through. Bai Ruashi's expression froze. This girl was really daring. You, a low-rank martial artist, wearing a rank 9 armor to battle? Wasn't that bullying? It seemed like the rules had to be changed this time. High-level weapons and armors were not allowed. Fang Yuan was actually not very interested in the championship. Seeing that, Bai Ruoshi was silent. She said hurriedly, "Instructor, are we going to counterattack the Magic City catacombs soon? Can we go to the catacombs this time?" "No." Bai Ruoshi rejected her without hesitation. She scolded, "Prepare for the championship. Fang Yuan, you have to think this through. If MCMAU loses this time, hundreds and thousands of students will be eliminated. When that time comes, as the captain, you will be the most responsible. If these people lose the competition because of you, they will lose the chance to stay in MCMAU. This might change their lives. This is related to the future. This is no child's play." Fang Yuan looked conflicted. She nodded. "All right, I have a big responsibility, but I still feel that the instructor is doing this on purpose. If he wants to win the championship, he should not let me participate. It must be Fang Ping's arrangement." Fang Yuan muttered in her heart. "That guy just doesn't want me to cause trouble for him. He doesn't want me to go to the catacombs, so he wants me to participate. But I'm not causing trouble. I just want to help." Fang Yuan muttered for a while, then made up her mind. If she led MCMU to victory this time, she would prove her strength and ability. Next time, her big brother would not think that she was only causing trouble, right? If martial artists don't go to the catacombs, even if there are sufficient resources, their improvement will be slow. How can I become stronger if Fang Ping doesn't let me go to the catacombs? Fang Yuan became even more gloomy. Maybe this time it was time to prove herself. Other rank 3 martial artists would have gone to the catacombs long ago. She could do it too. Her big brother went to the catacombs as a rank 3, and she heard that he was called a coward by Instructor Tang. Why did things change when it came to her? I want to go to the catacombs too. I still need to fight for resources. There are still many people in Yuan Ping Club who haven't improved. Fang Yuan thought about these things. She still had many ladies in Sun City who had not become martial artists. Now that the catacombs had been made public, many of those ladies were eager to become martial artists. However, although MCMU's resources belonged to her big brother, they also belonged to the school. It was not a problem for her to use as much as she wanted, but her big brother would definitely not agree to it if she gave it to those ladies. Fang Ping has no idea how much pressure I'm under. If I stay in school all the time, how can I help everyone improve? Fang Yuan sighed again. Being a big sister was very tiring. She still had to take care of others, but now she was still a parasite. She still had to rely on her big brother's support. If she did not go to the catacombs, she could forget about having extra money in this lifetime. Chapter 809. While Fang Yuan was being reprimanded, Fang Ping and Chen Yunxi were also discussing Fang Yuan. Chen Yunxi was all smiles as she walked beside Fang Ping. She said as she walked, "I'm afraid Yuan is in trouble this time. Once the news gets out, everyone is watching her now. If this girl doesn't participate in the competition now, the other martial arts universities will rebel." Chen Yunxi could not stop laughing. If Fang Yuan withdrew from the competition now, the other martial arts universities' instructors and students would probably come to MCMU to reason with her. Fang Ping smiled. He looked around and replied, "There are benefits to losing out a little." Yes. Chen Yunxi did not have any other thoughts and quickly talked about other things. Grandpa will be leading a team here in 2 days. This time, Grandpa also intends to participate in MCMAU's counterattack. Fang Ping, "Do you need Grandpa's help?" As she said that, Chen Yunxi added, "All right, my brother and the others are coming too." Your brother? Fang Ping was slightly stunned. Nowadays, he had more contact with high-rank powerhouses and peerless powerhouses. As for martial arts university students, he really did not have much contact with them now. What rank is Chen Haoran now? Middle stage rank 5. Chen Yunxi snickered, looking a little happy. She whispered, "My brother doesn't even dare to call me now. A few days ago, I told him that I've achieved mentality, vitality, unity. He hung up on me." Fang Ping could not help but laugh. Chen Yunxi said again, "But my brother has also achieved rank 6. Chen Haoran was Chen Yunxi's second brother. She had an older brother that Fang Ping was not too familiar with. However, she had a cousin that Fang Ping knew. He was a military martial artist, Chen Xiufeng. He used to be the #1 rank 3 powerhouse. He served in the Beijiang military department. When Fong Ping went north to challenge rank 3 martial artists, he walked the path of invincibility among rank 3 and fought with him. Thinking of Chun Xiufeng, Fong Ping could not help but think of Guoxian, Guosheng's brother, that determined soldier. Guoxian and Chun Xiufeng were both martial artists in the Beijiang military department. Fong Ping still remembered that when he went to the Beijiang, one of them asked him to take care of his younger sister, and the other asked him to take care of his younger brother. Scenes flashed in his mind. Fong Ping suddenly said, "Many people are coming this time. It's been a while since I met an old friend. We could take some time to get together this time." Chun Yunshi squinted her eyes and smiled. Yes, this time, many people from martial arts universities are preparing to join the counterattack. People from CCMU, South Capital Martial Arts University, Nanjiang Martial Arts University, East Sino Normal University, NMU. Chun Yunshi was very familiar with this. Very quickly, she smiled and said, "Oh right, Ling Yi and the others are coming too. Ling Yi contacted me before, asking if I could come to MCMEU for an exchange." When Tai Tu was the president, Fong Ping looked at her suddenly. "Am I deaf? What did you just say? Ironhead?" Fong Ping looked at her in surprise. Chun Yunshi used to call him senior brother, but now she was calling him Ironhead. Chun Yunshi did not mind. She was used to it. She had almost forgotten Li Hansong's name. They all called him Tai Tu, so she just followed suit. "When you were the president back then, didn't you tell Brother Tai Tu that CCMEU and MCMU's instructors and students would interact? They did have a short conversation before, but it ended very quickly. Now Ling Yi wants to bring this up again. Fong Ping, do you agree?" Fong Ping chuckled. "She wants to come to MCMEU and take advantage of me. She's dreaming. And this Tai Tu guy, after earning a lot of energy stones in the past few times, he still comes to my place every day to cultivate. This guy, they say that a married daughter is like spilled water, but he still thinks about his parents." It had to be said that CCMU's old vice-chancellor was quite wise and cheerful back then. He asked Li Hansong to come to MCMEU. When he sent Li Hansong here, he did not think of anything in return. He only wanted to give Li Hansong a better platform. In the end, Li Hansong came to MCMEU for only half a year. Divine weapons, energy stones, energy fruits, and other things were all brought to CCMEU like they cost nothing. Every time he harvested, Li Hansong almost did not keep anything for himself. He leached Fong Ping's energy stones to cultivate. According to him, he did not say anything when he was a family member. As for him, there was nothing left. It was not easy for CCMAU to nurture him. The school's teachers and students were suffering. Every time he had something good in his hands, he would look at MCMU's extravagance and then look at CCMAU. He could not help but take out all his family's assets for this trip to CCMAU. "All of you are coming this time. That's good too. We can get together. It's been a long time." Fong Ping sighed. Actually, not much time had passed, but he felt that it had been a long time. It had only been 2 years since the first martial arts university championship. However, his impression of those from the past was a little vague. Donglin's Chun Jiaxing, CCMU's Han Su, Beijiang Martial Arts University's Sun Mingyu. How are these people doing? Did anyone die? There should be. Fong Ping sighed in his heart. The people who participated that year were the martial arts university's new elites. Now, they were all juniors and were the mainstays of the school. These 2 years happened to be the period when wars broke out frequently. Many people in MCMEU had died, not to mention these places. Perhaps some of them would never be seen again. While Fong Ping was strolling around MCMEU. In MAU, Wang Jinyang and Governor Zhang Dingnan were also strolling around the campus while talking. Zhang Dingnan looked at the calm Wang Jinyang beside him and sighed. 21 years old. Wang Jinyang was 1 year older than Fong Ping. If not for an accident, he would not have graduated yet. Now, this young man was breaking through at an extraordinary speed. Thinking of this, Zhang Dingnan felt that Wang Jinyang was a little too mature, as if he was not moved by external factors. He could not help but tease. Fong Ping is comparable to a rank 9. Li Hansong has advanced to rank 8. Yao Qingjun seems to be close too. He's just missing the last few skulls that haven't been honed. You've just entered upper stage rank 7. Your skull honing hasn't started yet, but you've been left far behind by them. Don't you have any ideas? Wang Jinyang said unusually calmly. Everyone has their own path. There's no rush now. When the war starts, it's fine as long as it can be of use. As he said that, Wang Jinyang looked around and said quickly, Governor, is there anything unusual in the Nanjiang catacombs recently? It's all right. Pay more attention, especially to the boundary land in the east near the North Lake catacombs. If there's anything unusual, Governor will arrange for people to evacuate immediately. Zhang Dingnan said in a low voice. What's wrong? Did something happen? Wang Jinyang pondered and said slowly, There's a bit of a problem. When I entered the Nanjiang catacombs earlier, something seemed to be guiding me there. Maybe the people inside are guiding me, trying to lure me there. Zhang Dingnan had some understanding of these things now. He said with some surprise, Didn't they say that even if the ancient martial artists inside are alive, they can't come out? How could they possibly lure you there? Nanjiang City is thousands of miles away from there. Wang Jinyang shook his head and said, I'm not sure. This time I'm going to MCMU to ask around. Martial artists in the neo-martial era would not hide certain things. If it were any other era, this might be a great opportunity. Most people would keep it to themselves and think of a way to seize the opportunity. However, in the neo-martial era, because a few of the paragons did things fairly and openly, people trusted them. Therefore, under normal circumstances, people were willing to tell some secrets. This was the role of a good leader. Everyone trusted them. Luring you there, Zhang Dingnan frowned and said, Then it's better to be careful. Don't go there recklessly. The few of you are getting a lot of attention now. Not only us, but the whole world is watching. Even the catacombs are paying attention to you. These ancient martial artists in the boundary land might have some ulterior motives too. Oh right, isn't Warlord guarding Nanjiang's Imperial Sea Mountain? Senior Warlord has gone to MCMAU. Currently, Nanjiang has no absolute puppet guarding, so we have to be more careful. Wang Jinyang said, if MCMAU counterattacks this time, it may cause changes in the other catacombs. We don't have absolute puppet guarding here. There's only one rank 9 here, Old Fan. Governor, you have to be more careful. Zhang Dingnan smiled, then sighed and said, Nanjiang is weak. It's not easy to produce a few good seedlings, but Fang Ping ran away. Otherwise, even if there are changes in Nanjiang's catacombs, with Fang Ping around, we have some confidence. There are no rank 9 in Nanjiang. After all, Old Fan is not a local powerhouse. Jinyang, whether Nanjiang can produce its first rank 9 depends on you. The huge Nanjiang had a population of tens of millions. However, 48 rank 9 on the ranking list now. None of them came from Nanjiang. However, among the new generation of powerhouses, Fang Ping, the outstanding one among them, came from Nanjiang. This was a source of confidence for Nanjiang. Moreover, NMU had grown a lot in the past 2 years. After NMU's vice-chancellor died in battle, Wang Jinyang shouldered the heavy responsibility and obtained a lot of resources, helping 2 vice-chancellors to step into rank 7. His instructor, Zhang Qingnan, had also made rapid progress in his ability after returning from the boundaries, achieving mentality-vitality fusion. 3 Grandmaster-level powerhouses in one school. 2 years ago, besides CCMAU, MCMAU, and First Military School, it was already the strongest. Now, however, it was not enough. Wang Jinyang laughed. Governor, why do you need to count on me? I think you might be faster than me. Me? Zhang Dingnan did not know whether to laugh or cry. I've only just entered middle stage rank 7. This is all thanks to you guys. I found the brain core, so my cultivation speed has increased a lot. Otherwise, how could it be so easy to advance a small rank in less than 3 years? He had broken through rank 7 not long ago. When Fang Ping was preparing for the Gaokao, he had broken through rank 7. At that time, it had caused quite a stir. Now, in less than 3 years, he had entered middle stage rank 7. Upper stage should not be too slow either. He might be able to achieve it next year. In the past, going from early stage rank 7 to upper stage rank 7 in less than 5 years was already unbelievable. Now, however, it was impossible. Wang Jinyang laughed. Not necessarily. Fong Ping called me earlier, saying that he had some unexpected gains in the Magic City catacombs this time. Grandmaster Lu Jun is back, and he has advanced to Grandmaster. 3 years ago, Grandmaster Lu Jun was only rank 7, but now he's rank 9. Other people might not be able to advance so quickly, but I think it should be possible, Governor. Governor, you haven't been to Magic City. This time, I think you should go. I go to Magic City? Zhang Dingnan was slightly surprised. Wang Jinyang had no choice but to remind him, Fong Ping is actually half your student. You can say that. Actually, he can't cut himself off from Nanjiang. Have you forgotten? Since the beginning of his martial arts cultivation, the combat techniques he uses have always been created by you. This fellow has been using them for so long. Even now, he's still making some changes on the basis of your combat techniques. In essence, it's still your combat techniques. If that's the case, shouldn't he give something in return? When he becomes stronger, you should at least give something in return. If you get your hands on the mentality cultivation method, your mentality problem will be solved. You can think of a way to get some imperishable substances from him and rapidly increase the strength of your golden body. It might not be slower than Grandmaster Lu, maybe even faster. Zhang Dingnan could not help but laugh. Now that you mention it, I remember now. Indeed, I should make a trip to Magic City. Maybe there will be some gains. To be honest, the situation now is developing too fast. Initially, I thought that rank 7 was already considered a powerhouse. But now, there are endless battles. Rank 9s fight at every turn. If I don't enter rank 9 soon, I'll really become a burden. Wang Jinyang did not say anything. It was not a big problem for Zhang Dingnan to look for Fong Ping and ask for some good stuff. Even if Fong Ping's whole family moved away from Nanjiang, he was still a Nanjiang martial artist. Nanjiang was weak now. It was difficult to suppress the Nanjiang catacombs. Although Zhang Dingnan's combat techniques were contributed for free, since Fong Ping had learned them, he more or less received some kindness. Wang Jinyang did not continue this topic. In his heart, he was thinking about the Nanjiang catacombs. After he was done with Magic City, maybe Fong Ping should go and take a look. No, it might be quite dangerous. He did not know what was going on at Purple Cap Mountain. He did feel a pull. This was something that did not happen in other territories. In Sino Nation, there were 8 intact territories. He had been to 2 of them. Even in the territories, such a situation had not happened. Now he felt some abnormalities at the passageway entrance. Purple Cap Mountain? Who is guiding me there? What's the purpose? Unquestionable sword? Many thoughts emerged in Wang Jinyang's mind. He also felt a little scared. Had the person inside come out? Otherwise, how could he pass through the boundary wall and even break the seal to guide him? The Martial Arts Championship began on December 18th. Starting on the 17th, Martial Arts University instructors and students rushed to MCMAU. Many of Fong Ping's acquaintances were in the queue. On CCMU's side, Han Su, Ling Yi, and the others arrived together. Sino Nation Martial Arts University's Lu Shiji also took on the role of instructor leading the team. Donglin Martial Arts University's Chun Jiaxing took on the role of president of the Martial Arts Society. South Capital Martial Arts University's Chun Yaoding personally led the team here. The third Martial Arts University Championship coincided with the announcement of the catacombs. At this moment, ordinary people paid more attention to these martial arts competitions. In addition, the previous 2 championships were also very exciting. For a moment, the entire nation's attention was once again on MCMAU. While Sino Nation was preparing for the Martial Arts University Championship and the upcoming big battle. Restricted area. Destiny Royal Court. Destiny City was not as beautiful as Sky Plant City, which was like a crystal city. Destiny Royal City was more rugged. The buildings were also huge, mainly for the convenience of monsters and beasts. Destiny City was more popular than Sky Plant City. It was livelier. In the center of the giant city, in the palace. In a huge palace, there were only 3 people and 1 beast. Ji Yao and Feng Ke stood behind Fate King and Ji Hong. It was very rare for a family to have 2 true kings. In the human world, only the Li family had 2 desperate realm powerhouses. In the catacombs, only the Ji family had such conditions. At this moment, the tall king Lord Ji Hong was talking to his father. "Father, I want to abdicate." Ji Hong mentioned this again. He glanced at his daughter beside him and muttered, "Now that I've become a true king, there's not much use for me to stay in the position of a king lord. If Yao can become a king lord, the situation is tense now. A big battle is coming, and the people are united. If Yao becomes a king lord, she might be able to sense the existence of her own Dao very soon." Fate King did not turn around. He said softly, "It's difficult." King Baishan and the others were already extremely dissatisfied when you became a king lord. Now Baishan Yue and the others died in the battle of the king lords. Because of Fong Ping's words, it has caused some trouble. The 100 Kings Conference is about to start. I've heard that these people have joined forces and are preparing to attack. And Tiger King. Fate King turned to look at Ji Yao and said softly, "Yao was too reckless. Tiger Peak shouldn't have been killed. Yao has grown up. Grandfather is very pleased. Bai Shangyue and Xianjin were killed. These people's deaths are not to be regretted. Even if they don't die, they are still trouble. But Tiger Peak, Tiger King, and I have known each other for many years. Tiger Peak has always trusted you. Yao, when you haven't become the most powerful existence and need some help, Tiger Peak is a good helper. When you become a king lord, Tiger Peak can totally help you lead the Destiny Army. Now that you've killed Tiger Peak, Tiger King is unhappy. This time, Tiger King might not support me in the 100 Kings Conference." Ji Yao felt that she still had to explain. She was also very sullen. Wang Zhu did not believe that she did not kill Tiger Peak, but she really did not kill Tiger Peak. Not only Tiger Peak, no one would believe her even if she said it. She did not kill Bai Shangyue, and neither did Xianjun. However, with a few simple words from Fong Ping, although everyone did not say it out loud, in reality, they all felt that she did it. Even Fate King thought so, let alone the others. Wang Zhu, Tiger Peak was really not killed by Yao. At the side, the Phoenix Sparrow cried out hurriedly. It could testify. Fate King smiled faintly. Now that things have come to this, there's no need to care about it. Yao, are you and Fong Ping working together? Ji Yao's expression changed slightly. She forced a smile. Wang Zhu, Fong Ping and I are absolutely irreconcilable. How can I possibly work with him? Fate King, however, did not care about this. He said softly, "If there is a collaboration, we can contact Fong Ping. Fong Ping's position in the land of rebirth is not low. We could talk about working together." Ji Yao's expression changed. At the side, Ji Hong said, "Father, what do you mean? There are already traces of the king battleground. The two kings are about to officially wake up. However, if the king battleground is not broken, we can't attack it. These true king powerhouses are all pushing each other. No one is willing to be the first to enter the king battleground. If we really gather the power of 100 kings, the chaos origin path is nothing. We can break it directly. However, no one is willing. No one wants to be a stepping stone for others." Fate King sighed. "The true kings of the divine land are all like this. You and I are the same. We can't blame the others. We can't give the two kings time to recover. While they are weak, we will kill them in one blow. Killing the two kings is the best choice. Therefore, we must break the king battleground. As for the king battleground, martial artists who have stepped into godhood cannot enter. They will be attacked by the chaos origin path if they enter. Although there are many martial artists who have not entered godhood in the divine land, they may not be able to help us accomplish some things. On the other hand, over at the land of rebirth, Fong Ping is quite capable. If he enters the god general territory of the king battleground, the core area, he may be able to accomplish some things and break the seal of the king battleground. Let the two kings appear before us completely. When the 100 kings gather, no matter how strong the two kings are, they will definitely die." Fate King was helpless too. There were many rank 9 powerhouses in the catacombs. There were even more who did not enter the origin path. However, How many people could have the confidence to coordinate from the inside and outside to break the king battleground and let the true kings enter? After thinking about it, Fate King suddenly felt that maybe Fong Ping could do it. He was not familiar with Fong Ping, but he knew Fong Ping. He knew how much trouble he could cause and how much trouble he could cause. Others might not have the confidence, but if that guy went in, even if no one cooperated, Fate King suspected that he could break the core area alone. Ji Hong was stunned. Ask Fong Ping for help? Ji Yao was even more dazed. She said hurriedly, "Royal Ancestor, let him help us break the king battleground?" Royal Ancestor, is this appropriate? Besides, he may not dare to come. There are too many true kings who want to kill him now. Would he dare to come to the divine land at this time? Fate King chuckled. Sometimes, enemies are enemies, and cooperation is cooperation. As long as the interests are aligned, nothing is impossible. Marshal King and the others may not have good intentions. Maybe they are waiting for us to clash with the two kings. However, during this 100 Kings conference, we will also discuss how to deal with the resurrected true king. There is not much meaning in cooperating with the true king this time. Fong Ping, on the other hand, is indeed necessary. As for whether he dares to do it or not, do you think he dares? If we give him some benefits that he needs, will he do it? When Ji Yao heard this, she gritted her teeth and said, "If we give him benefits, if it can save his life, he will definitely do it. This person is extremely greedy, afraid of death, and reckless." Ji Yao's evaluation was very contradictory. The other party was afraid of death, but he was really bold. There was nothing he did not dare to do. Ji Yao even felt that when that guy became a true king, if she gave him benefits, he would dare to assassinate a true king. Fate King laughed. If that's the case, then there is room for cooperation. Royal Ancestor, but he is a big trouble. If we don't kill Fong Ping, I think he will become a disaster sooner or later. This time, we can kill two birds with one stone. Fate King smiled faintly. If he can't resist the temptation and dares to come here, when the king battleground is broken, we will kill him. When that time comes, all the 100 kings will be here. Even if Marshal King and the others protect him, it will not be difficult to kill him. Ji Yao was slightly stunned. Did Royal Ancestor mean to go back on his word? Yao at the side, Ji Hong guided. The so-called promises and promises are only valid when needed. When you don't need it, then it is nothing. If Fong Ping has value, then use him. However, when he is a threat, or the threat is greater than the benefits, then you can give up some things, choose a more beneficial plan, and kill him. This time, if you can let Fong Ping open the king battleground and then kill Fong Ping afterward, then you will have done a great service. When that time comes, Royal Father can also let you inherit the throne. Fong Ping is difficult to kill. The Heavenly Plant's royal court has already proven this. He took away mysterious Jade True King's origin of Tao inheritance, so he is also our enemy. Killing him will be considered as avenging mysterious Jade True King. Yao, don't be soft-hearted. Ji Yao did not speak. She was not soft-hearted. She had always wanted to kill Fong Ping. However, her father and royal ancestor were too naive. If Fong Ping was so easy to kill, he would have been dead long ago. That guy was too cunning. She was still thinking about it when Fate King said, 7 Southern Territory may break out into war soon. This time, Fong Ping will most likely appear there. Bamboo King and Green Wolf King are already gathering some god generals. Yao, you can go and take a look this time. If you meet Fong Ping, it will be best if you can capture him. If you can't, then talk to him about cooperation. Ji Yao was stunned. He wanted her to go to the outskirts again? She did not dare to go to the outskirts now. Last time, in the 18 Southern Territory, she was hunted down by Fong Ping. Now she had some psychological trauma. Seeing that his daughter did not speak, Ji Hong smiled and said, "Don't worry this time. I will let Ji Nan bring 5 god generals with you. You don't have to participate in the battle. Just wait at the Mount Royal Sea Passage. If Bamboo King and the rest win, then try to capture Fong Ping alive. If they lose, then you can talk about cooperation." Ji Yao was still a little uncertain. Can he open the seal of the king battleground? Fake King said slowly, "We won't put all our hopes on him, but he has more hope. If he knows that in order to open the King battleground, even Maple King and the rest won't attack Fong Ping now. Also, we can ask for more benefits. Don't worry about these. Whether he can get it or not depends on whether he has the life to do so." Ji Yao understood. She would just ask for as much as she wanted. If Fong Ping really came and agreed, she would give him some benefits first. When he opened the King battleground and hundreds of kings gathered, he would be dead meat. Even if all the true kings in the land of rebirth came, it would be useless. The key was whether Fong Ping dared to come. Ji Yao weighed in her heart for a while. She could not judge Fong Ping's thoughts. If it were her, she would definitely not be willing. However, it was hard to say for Fong Ping. Chapter 810. December 18th. The third Martial Arts University Championship began. Macmao. Backstage of the stadium. The atmosphere was very strange. Fang Yuan looked at the participants around her innocently. "Why are you all looking at me like that? Seriously, I'm still young. Don't even think about doing anything to me, or my brother will kill you all." Fang Yuan looked at the others innocently. A few people in the crowd lowered their heads, afraid that she would see them. Wu Zhihao wanted to pretend to be an ostrich, and said in a low voice, "How embarrassing. I said I wouldn't come, but you insisted on making me come. This girl is the captain of MCMAU. Do I have the nerve to hit her?" As he said that, he looked at Yang Jian beside him and said with a smile, "Yang Jian, your Tian'an Martial Arts University is too poor. If you have the chance, beat her up. You can earn money." Yang Jian chuckled and lowered his head as well. "I didn't want to come either." It was not a problem to beat up the other MCMU members, but beating up Fang Yuan was really embarrassing. Back then, when this girl came to Shanghai with them, she followed behind them and called them Big Brother, with a look of worship on her face. They were martial artists, but that girl was not. But in the blink of an eye, everyone was competing on the same stage. Beside Yang Jian, Lu Ruoqi looked at Wu Zhihao and said, "Why are you still rank 3? Didn't you say you were going to break through to rank 4? Wu Zhihao was speechless. "Isn't this a competition? Once the competition is over, I'll be ready to break through. I'm almost at rank 4, but the two of you have also reached peak rank 3. This is really fast." "Same here." Yang Jian chuckled. "Back then, we didn't think that we'd be able to enter the middle ranks before we graduated from university. Back then, we just wanted to become martial artists. Who could have predicted this?" Wu Zhihao also smiled and said, "I didn't expect that, but let's not talk about this here. Shameful. Middle ranked? Didn't you see that?" Along the way, the middle-ranked martial artists acted as if they were free. Some of the guys did not look very old and were also middle-ranked. Honestly, when we get to MCMAU, other things aside, just this aura alone is enough to shock us. I know, right? Yang Jian was filled with emotions as well. He smiled and said, "Say, if we defeat that brat Fang Yuan, would we be able to ask Fong Ping for a reward?" Wu Zhihao smiled awkwardly. However, the two of them looked at each other and nodded in tacit understanding. Instead of letting Fang Yuan get beaten up by someone else, as her big brother, they had no choice but to help her beat her up. Lu Ruoqi glanced at the two of them and chuckled. "Stop pretending. It's not like you don't know that she's the captain. Since he was here, he must have come with the intention of beating her up. Let me say this in advance. It's fine if we beat her up, but if we're defeated by her, we don't want to live anymore. That would be even more awkward." These people and Fong Ping's classmate. Fang Yuan was only 14 years old 2 years ago. At that time, no one had expected that they would meet his sister instead of Fong Ping in the arena. As the few of them were chatting, someone behind them suddenly chuckled and said, "Sister Ruoqi, Brother Wu, I will defeat you all." Wu Zhihao turned his head to look and laughed awkwardly. He suddenly didn't want to live anymore. This girl's had only reached his chest, and her small face was round. I was too embarrassed to hit her. Yang Jian smiled sheepishly. "Fang Yuan, you're only a middle stage rank 3, Fang Yuan said with a serious expression. "I can't embarrass my brother. He won the championship twice, so I must win at least twice too. I'm almost upper stage rank 3. I'll cultivate while competing. When the finals come, I'll be upper stage rank 3. When that time comes, the gap between us won't be that big. Brother Wu, you guys must enter the finals, or else you won't meet me." As soon as she said that, the few of them felt a little pressured. If she broke through to upper stage rank 3, the gap between them would not be that big. MCMU had a lot of good stuff, and Fang Yuan had even more. If they were really defeated by her and saw Fang Ping again, they might as well cover their faces and leave. Backstage, Fang Yuan's presence had stimulated everyone. In front, at the VIP seats on the second floor, Fang Ping's presence had stimulated everyone. In the crowd, Han Su and the others were sitting among the instructors. Although they were not instructors, they were more or less like instructors in the university. As for Fang Ping, he was sitting among the university leaders. This was not the main point. The main point was they had a lot more people on their side. Han Su looked at his own school's instructors, then looked at MCMAU's side. Qin Fengqing was playing games while waiting for the competition to start board. Zhou Shiping, Su Jianzhou, and the others were all instructors, not the university leaders. As for the others, Zhang Yu, Bai Ruoxi, these people were also instructors. How could they compete? The other side had a few Grandmaster instructors, like a group of Mentality Vitality instructors, and a few Mentality Vitality Unity students. Han Su did not care about the others. He looked at Qin Fengqing and said, not knowing whether to laugh or cry, "Senior Qin, restrain your force a little. It's a little strong." Qin Fengqing seemed to have just realized this. He laughed and said, "Is that so? Sorry, I didn't notice. I just broke through. I didn't notice." As he said this, as if he was afraid that they did not understand, Qin Fengqing laughed and said, "All right, I didn't just break through rank 7. Although it hasn't been long, I broke through to middle stage rank 7. Upper stage should be coming soon." Han Su was speechless. The instructors next to him were also speechless. "Do you have to make it so clear to us? Are you afraid that we don't know your middle stage rank 7? Han Su did not want to pay attention to him. Very soon, Han Su's eyes lit up, and he nodded at Li Hansong, who was not far away. Seeing this, Li Hansong did not stay at Fang Ping's side and quickly walked over. As soon as he arrived, Li Hansong laughed and said, "It's still better here. Listening to what they're talking about makes my head hurt." As he said this, Li Hansong coughed softly and said in a low voice, "What's the point of watching low-ranked martial artists compete? High-ranked martial artists can just watch. It's not easy to come to MCMAU. You guys go to my Grandmaster Tower and rest." As he said this, he winked and smiled. Qin Fengqing glanced at him, his face full of disdain. Ironhead had become a lot more Philistine now. Was it not just that the Grandmaster Tower had a large energy supply? Did he have to arrange for CCMAU people to cultivate like thieves? Qin Fengqing could not be bothered with this. Based on the current situation, people like Han Su and Ling Yi might come to MCMAU as instructors after graduation. These people were also the top prodigies of the younger generation. If they really came to MCMAU, there might be a few more Grandmasters soon. Qin Fengqing looked down on Ironhead. He was stupid. This guy thought he was helping CCMAU. Just wait and see. Based on the current situation, the people from CCMAU would come to MCMAU sooner or later. Once you return to CCMAU, you brag about how good MCMAU was, the free energy supply, and you did not need to spend money to cultivate. Every time, you reap huge rewards. Once or twice. Under the subtle influence, the elites of CCMAU would not be tempted. I'm not CCMAU's vice-chancellor. Otherwise, I could just poison this guy and be done with it. Qin Fengqing felt sorry for CCMAU's vice-chancellor. Fortresses were always breached from the inside. Li Hansong showed himself and waited for the geniuses to pass. Fang Ping did not have time to care about other people's affairs. At this moment, Fang Ping was communicating with the powerhouses around him. Chen Yaoting saw him talking big and found it funny. He said, "Has Wu Quishan and the others officially let go? They didn't even show their faces, and they let you make the decisions directly?" Fang Ping chuckled. "How can that be? The vice-chancellor has just recovered and is now familiarizing himself with his power. The others are doing the same. I'm the only one in the school who has nothing to do. Old Chun, the vice-chancellor has no intention of neglecting me." Chun Yaoting was touched. That's true. If you were at SCMEU, I wouldn't care about the school's business. As the two of them were chatting, Nan Yunping interrupted them. Let's not talk about this. Fong Ping, are you sure I don't need to go to the Magic City battle this time? Fong Ping said quickly. Vice-Chancellor Nan has just broken through. You should focus on stabilizing your realm first. Vice-Chancellor Nan should not take the risk in Magic City unless it's absolutely necessary. Nan Yunping was speechless. After a while, she said, at the end of the day, you're looking down on me because I'm a weak rank 9 and can't be of any use, right? Fong Ping smiled bitterly. Vice-Chancellor Nan, don't misunderstand. I didn't mean it that way. But it's not good to have too many rank 9. Then forget it, Nan Yunping said and added. I was also considering whether or not to go. I don't know who sent me a letter saying that I will definitely die if I go to the Magic City catacombs this time. He even analyzed for a while and said that a few people from FMS should die. Fong Ping was dumbfounded. Who did this? This was bullsh asterisk T. What did he mean by death? It was pure bullsh asterisk T, Fong Ping said quickly. Vice-Chancellor Nan, don't take it seriously. I'm afraid that someone has nothing better to do and is deliberately causing trouble. I'll look into it later. If I find out who is causing trouble, I'll teach him a good lesson. Fong Ping did not pay too much attention to this. He looked at the other grandmasters and said, in this high-rank battle, seniors, the main goal is to drag it out. There's no need to risk your lives. The main goal is to delay those rank 7 and 8 martial artists and not let them interfere with the rank 9 battle. When the rank 9 battle is decided, then we can turn around and deal with them. In war, it's best if no one dies. The war initiated by MCMAU is built on the condition that the losses are minimal. If there's no guarantee, then everyone can consider retreating. Of course, this also depends on the timing. We can't just disband, Chun Yaoting said in a low voice. Fong Ping, the Magic City catacombs matter is not just MCMAU's matter. The catacombs matter is everyone's matter. You don't have to think that we came to Magic City to participate in the battle just for MCMAU. Just like Tian'an, Nanjiang, Forbidden City, Capital City, if something happens to these catacombs, we'll take action not just for one family. As for the reward, there's no need to mention it again. Beside him, the Vice-Chancellor of East Sino Nation Normal University also said slowly, that's true. Not to mention that Yeseninyu is in Magic City. The fall of Magic City's catacombs is not MCMAU's responsibility. Killing his way back to the Magic City catacombs was different from annihilating Sky Gate City last time. Last time when Sky Gate City wanted to evacuate, all of you were unwilling. That time, it could be said that it was MCMAU's private matter. However, this time, attacking the entire Magic City catacombs was no longer a private matter for MCMAU, but a matter for all Sino Nation martial artists. Fong Ping, you don't have to pay me. Fong Ping scanned the crowd. After a while, he said, Fong Ping is being unscrupulous. We'll discuss this later. Now, let's confirm the name list and wait for Guardian Wu and the others to arrive before we discuss the details. After talking for a while, Fong Ping was more or less done with everyone. The opening ceremony had officially begun. It was the same as before, introducing each team. The martial arts university teams that participated this year were the ones who volunteered. In the end, almost all of the 99 martial arts universities and the 3 big military schools came. There was no other reason. The reward was attractive. Today was only the opening ceremony. The competition would last for a long time. It would probably last until mid-January. Fong Ping was also trying to find something for these low-ranked martial artists to do so that they would not be too busy during this period and have no time to manage them. Martial artists who were full of energy might run around without anyone to manage them. At the opening ceremony, Fong Yuan's appearance caused a heated discussion among the audience. Fong Yuan looked too small. As for Fong Yuan's identity, many people knew about it. Although the referee did not introduce her in detail, there were many people discussing it on the internet. Many people knew that she was Fong Ping's younger sister. Fong Ping looked around on the second floor for a while, a little distracted. He did not stay until the end. Halfway through the team introduction, Fong Ping was called out by someone. In the reception hall. Recently, Zhang Tao had been going in and out of MCMU frequently. At this moment, Zhang Tao was sipping his tea and complaining. Even if I come a little frequently, I'm still a guest, right? Now they don't even treat me as a guest. Why is there no one to entertain me when I come? Wu Quishan and the others, didn't any of them ask to entertain me? Fong Ping chuckled. What kind of guest are you, minister? Don't martial arts universities belong to the Ministry of Education? When you come to martial arts universities, you're coming to your own territory. Do you still need us to entertain you? There's nothing wrong with what you said, but your attitude is still too perfunctory. Fong Ping felt a headache coming on. There's a lot going on in the university recently. Besides, you didn't inform us in advance that you're coming. We can't find any traces of you either. How can we keep waiting here to entertain you? Forget it. I'll just put up with it. Zhang Tao was just saying it casually. Very soon, he got down to business. He said, as for LV Jun, I've created a mentality cultivation method, but there's a little trouble. It doesn't seem to be compatible with the modern methods of honing. If you want to cultivate this cultivation method, you'll need some assistance. Maybe you'll need to modify it, but it can't be used for now. LV Jun can cultivate it probably because the seniors inside use some other method, but I've taken a look. This cultivation method is indeed a little different. The 9 golden body forging last time only briefly explained the problem of strengthening the brain nucleus. This cultivation method, on the other hand, introduces in detail how to hone the brain nucleus, including the method of honing when the brain nucleus has yet to materialize. It should be very helpful to mankind. Fong Ping asked curiously, then, why are you looking for me, minister? Since he had found the cultivation method, he should spread it or improve it before spreading it. He did not have to come all the way to MCMAU to inform him, did he? Old Zhang thought too highly of himself. Zhang Tao laughed. Don't worry. I'm looking for you because I want to tell you that if it's possible, you should go to the bounded zone again. Bring my split body along. I have something to discuss with the seniors inside. Elvision can't go. He has spread the other party's cultivation method. Even if the other party knows that there's a reason for it, they won't show him any mercy. As for you, you better imitate Yao Qingjuan's aura and go in. Don't worry. With my split body here, the other party will sense it. They won't attack you recklessly. I have something to ask you. It's not for anything else. You still want to split your body? Fong Ping said hurriedly. If the seniors inside destroy the split body, won't there be trouble? It's fine. The other party won't attack my split body recklessly. If they really attack, it'll be enough to stop them for a while and send you out. This can also prove whether the other party is hostile to us. What do you want to ask? The method to control the monsters. Zhang Tao spoke bluntly and did not hide anything. He laughed. I realized that LV Jun's cultivation method should be incomplete. There are some things that he didn't explain clearly. I'm afraid this cultivation method was originally used to cultivate mentality and control monsters. But now it's incomplete, a rather important part. I want to ask and see if I can obtain it. Even if I can't, I hope that the other party can give me some other auxiliary items. Zhang Tao exhaled softly. When we were fighting in the outer zone, there were many rank 9 demons. Their abilities were also very strong. More often than not, we were defeated by these demons. If we can really control the demons, even if it's just for a moment, it'll be enough to affect the whole situation. Quokang Mountain. Since even the End Cloud Demon Clan has it, they must have some tricks up their sleeves. Even if something went wrong in the past, it doesn't mean that the current demons know how to crack it. Even the current Catacombs powerhouses might not know how to crack it. After hearing what he said, Fong Ping hesitated for a moment. Soon he said, then I'll wait until after the war ends. If Jiao and the rest have any gains, I might go again. That's for the best. Having said that, Zhang Tao tossed a crystal book to Fong Ping. Fong Ping took it in his hands and mumbled, giving it to me now, isn't it too hasty? Minister, this is a super large video recorder. Zhang Tao could not be bothered with him. Just take it. It could be used in the boundary zone. Moreover, if something really happened here in Magic City, he could still have a backup plan. Others could not get it even if they wanted it. Yet this kid was still being picky. He did not know what was good for him. Zhang Tao cursed in a low voice. Soon he stood up and said, "Don't use it recklessly. I should be at Mount Imperial Sea that day. Unless you're about to be killed, don't use it. Otherwise, if it affects me and you get killed by the true king, you'll be in big trouble, kid." "I know," Fong Ping responded. He was a little surprised at Zhang Tao's haste. Old Zhang was in such a hurry to go to the boundary zone to negotiate with the people inside. What did he discover? Otherwise, wouldn't it be the same if it was another time? Thinking was just thinking. Fong Ping did not ask in detail and just took it. In any case, it was something that could save his life. The clones that old Zhang gave him all had the strength of the origin path. They would still be very useful in critical moments. However, at this time, Fong Ping felt that old Zhang was too powerful. How many paths had he split? Why was this guy's mentality so strong? Could it be that he also had a mentality cultivation technique? Thinking was just thinking. Fong Ping did not ask. LV Zhun had not returned yet. He did not know where he had gone. Fong Ping thought about these things and wondered if he should bring old Yao along to try it out this time. However, if old Yao went, he could not pretend to be him anymore. Then he might not be able to go in. When the time came, he would decide according to the situation. 9 Heavens, Divine Emperor. Chapter 811. Once again, Fong Ping obtained old Zhang's split body. Anyway, Fong Ping had decided that if any secrets were to be exposed, he would use old Zhang's split body. In the past, he felt that this kind of thing should not be used carelessly. If he used it, old Zhang's spiritual power would be permanently damaged, which was not a good thing. But now old Zhang could create a split body for no reason, and he did not even care. What else did Fong Ping care about? Fong Ping had also heard from Warlord that old Zhang's mentality was increasing too quickly. It was overflowing and his body could not control it. Since that was the case, he might as well help to exhaust them. Still, Fong Ping had his doubts about how Zhang Tao's mentality had improved so quickly. He had always been limited by the improvement of his mentality. At this moment, Fong Ping did not hesitate and asked directly, "Minister, your mentality has increased so quickly. How did you do it?" "Take a guess?" Fong Ping's expression darkened. "Guess? You only know how to make people guess. Guess your sister. If you don't want to say it, then so be it." Zhang Tao saw that he was in a bad mood. He smiled and stroked his beard, saying, "I'll tell you if you give me 10,000 caddies of energy stones." This was a truly unique technique. Ordinary martial artists would not be able to learn it. But you can, because you're different. If it was suitable for everyone, I would have made it public a long time ago. But since it's not suitable for everyone and is only suitable for you, I can only sell it to you. Fong Ping's smile was insincere. He did not believe it at all. Zhang Tao was a little dissatisfied. He frowned and said, 10,000 caddies for it. You definitely made a profit. Don't you have any confidence in yourself? Yes, others might not be able to learn it, but you're different from others. You might be able to learn it. Was Fong Ping not willing to take a gamble? Energy stones are nothing to you, right? Even if it's useless, it won't be a loss. But if it's useful, your spiritual power will increase extremely quickly. Perhaps you'll be able to reach the 9th level of the golden body very soon. Needless to say, Fong Ping was a little tempted by old Zhang's words. Old Zhang was right. Others might not be able to learn it, but it was hard to say for himself. 10,000 Jean? Minister, you wouldn't lie to me with a fake one, right? Zhang Tao's expression instantly turned ugly. He said coldly, "Are you questioning the words of a peerless expert?" Fong Ping's expression was one of indifference. There was no use in pretending to be cool. The first time you appeared, my impression of you had already collapsed. Then let's make it 10,000 caddies. Minister, tell me about it. Fong Ping was also very generous. Although he had used up most of the energy stones, the catacombs still had a lot of them. If he just casually went there, it would be enough for him to earn a large sum. Only then did Zhang Tao reveal a smile and slowly said, "Actually, it's very simple. Become the department head." Fong Ping was stunned for a moment. Zhang Tao said with a calm expression, "To educate all living beings and protect mankind. This is the Tao." It was similar to the Tao of the people, but it was different. Why was the catacombs lord able to become a true monarch at the fastest speed possible? This was the truth. In other words, leaders, chieftains, emperors, all of them could increase their mental power rapidly. To put it more bluntly, the growth of one's mental strength isn't just a matter of cultivation. In fact, it's also related to one's state, will, and belief. As Zhang Tao spoke, Fong Ping looked surprised. He did not feel that he had been deceived, but he thought of something else. Minister, when I first started the company, I told Director Huang and the others that my mental strength was growing very quickly. At that time, they guessed that when a person is busy with more things and considers more things, their mental strength might grow faster. Fong Ping recalled something from a long time ago. At that time, he was actually fooling Huang Jing and the others. He said that starting a company could increase his mental strength, so he asked the university to help him expand the company. Needless to say, Huang Jing and the others actually believed him. Even Old Man Li said that he would arrange something for him to do. Later on, Fong Ping did not care much about this. Now, however, Zhang Tao said something similar. Zhang Tao looked at him with a smile. This kid did not feel that he had been deceived. He thought that Fong Ping would be furious. Zhang Tao nodded slightly after Fong Ping said that. Actually, it's a little related. Look at the catacombs. Actually, the martial artists in the catacombs are doing the same. Look at the Outland. Why did they build so many royal cities? Powerhouses from the Outland usually don't care about the deaths of ordinary people. But why would the Castellan powerhouses care? They wouldn't dare to let their citizens die at will. Is it because they care about these people's lives? No. This is the Tao of the people. The improvement of mentality is the same as this. The further you go on the path, the more your mentality will naturally improve. Fong Ping thought for a while and quickly said, Minister, can the origin Tao be seen? I'm talking about the martial artists themselves. Can they see their own path? You showed Rose City Lord's origin Tao to the Vice-Chancellor. Did he really see something? He can really see it. Zhang Tao nodded and said, in your own mentality, you can see your own martial arts path. Now, Fong Ping was also starting to step into the origin Tao. Zhang Tao explained in detail again. When you start to understand the path, you're standing on a black dot at the beginning. It's all darkness around you. Of course, you might see some messy things appearing in all directions. These are the willpower that will lure you into the origin Tao. Which way are you going to go? Which way should I go? Which way is the right path? Which way is longer? Which way is stronger? At this time, it's all up to you. Maybe you feel that there's no way out. Maybe you feel at a loss and don't know what to do about the future. At this time, it's very difficult for you to take the first step. You can't move at all. This is the amazing thing about the origin Tao. Many weak rank 9 martial artists might stand on this black dot for the rest of their lives, unable to take their first step. Fong Ping thought for a while and suddenly looked at Zhang Tao. Zhang Tao's eyes moved. With a playful look, he said with a faint smile, Interesting. How interesting. You're also very bold. If it were someone else, they would kill you with a slap right now. Do you believe it? Fong Ping, on the other hand, was shocked. Zhang Tao found out. Zhang Tao found out that he was using the system to peek at his origin Tao. How was that possible? He was just impulsive earlier. He could not hold back and wanted to try out the new function of the system to see if there was a way to see Zhang Tao's origin Tao. Fong Ping saw it, but his heart ached to the extreme. 100 million points. In an instant, 100 million wealth points were spent. Although he said he saw it, he did not see anything. Fong Ping was a little dazed. He seemed to only see a path that led to the sky, bright and dazzling. There seemed to be something appearing on both sides of the path and in front of him. In the end, when he was about to peek, Zhang Tao found out and kicked him out. Fong Ping was still in shock. Was this the origin Tao? The scene from earlier was still flashing in his mind. A bright path with no end in sight. There seemed to be something appearing on both sides of the path. Memory? No, not memory. It seemed to be countless figures, lining the path to welcome me. Fong Ping's mind was blank. For a moment, He could not care less about the 100 million wealth points he had just spent. This kid is a little interesting. Zhang Tao was very surprised at this moment. This guy was peeking at his origin Dao. He was also very confused. Just now, when he was chatting happily, he suddenly felt an anomaly. There was a strange gaze peeking at him directly. It was a very mysterious feeling. He subconsciously started to fight back. At first, he thought it was a peerless powerhouse who was peeking at him forcefully. In the end, just as he was about to flip out, Zhang Tao stopped in time. He had discovered who was peeking at him. This kid's guts were not an ordinary kind of big. He was also very mischievous. If he did not stop in time just now, this guy would have died from the shock. What is it that is peeking at me? He can actually break through my defense and peek at my origin Dao. Even suppressing Heavenly King can't do this. Origin Dao was a powerhouse's biggest secret. All of one's weaknesses and secrets could actually be discovered through Origin Dao. If Life King and the others had peeked at Zhang Tao's Origin Dao and discovered everything, they could find the weakness, kill Zhang Tao, and then walk on Zhang Tao's Dao because they knew how to walk. In this way, the other party could replace him and walk on his Dao quickly. This was even more terrifying than Origin Unique Arts. Before a peerless powerhouse died, Origin Unique Arts were actually just a simple guide. Fang Ping, on the other hand, had just opened his Origin Dao door and started walking along his Origin Dao path. Seeing that Fang Ping was still in a daze, Zhang Tao felt helpless. This kid really did not follow the rules. If it were other peerless powerhouses or true kings, they would have smacked him to death. However, Zhang Tao suddenly said, "Fang Ping, wake up. What are you thinking about?" Opposite him, Fang Ping shook his head, a little embarrassed and a little embarrassed. He laughed dryly and said, "Minister, that cough cough, I think I was sleepwalking just now. I don't know if I've been too tired recently." "Don't give me that. I didn't want to cause trouble for you." Zhang Tao did not know whether to laugh or cry. Then he frowned slightly and said, "How did you do it? Kid, do you know what you did just now? You directly broke through my defense, the defense of my willpower, and directly peeked at my origin Dao. You have to know that I'm a top-notch powerhouse among the peerless powerhouses. Even if I didn't guard against you just now and only used my instinctive defense, it's still unimaginable that you could break through my willpower defense. If everyone was like you, then peerless powerhouses would have been peeked at countless times. Not to mention peerless powerhouses, even if it's a normal ranked 9, if he's unwilling, we can't forcefully peek at his origin Dao. This is a martial artist's biggest secret. Kid, you almost tricked me just now." Fang Ping smiled bitterly. He felt a little bitter. "I was really just a little curious and wanted to give it a try. I didn't want to do anything to you." In the end, the system that has always been successful was actually discovered by someone this time. It's fine if it was discovered, but I didn't see anything and was kicked out by old Zhang. "You should return my wealth points. 100 million points. I just took a look and it's gone just like that." Wealth, 810 million points vitality, 117,100 calories, 117,500 calories, mentality, 7,899 hertz, 7,915 hertz, destruction force, 60 yuan, storage space, 10,000 cubic meters plus, energy shield, 1 point/minute plus, aura simulation, 10 points/minute plus, origin detailed analysis, 10, 100 million points/time. Fang Ping glanced at the system data. His heart ached to the extreme. 100 million points. Sure enough, he had guessed last time that 100 million points might not be able to see the peerless powerhouse's origin Dao. Now the facts proved that it was indeed true. The peerless powerhouse could be discovered. This was only because it was old Zhang. If it were someone else, Fang Ping really suspected that he had been discovered. He would definitely be beaten to death. Fang Ping was embarrassed for a moment, but he still smiled sheepishly. "Minister, that I really didn't mean to. I was just a little curious. Under the influence of my curiosity, I wanted to see what your origin Dao looked like, and I really saw it." As he said that, Fang Ping immediately added, "No, I didn't see it either. I just saw a shadow, and I think it was kicked away by you." At this point, Fang Ping said bitterly, I think I've been severely injured. Minister, you won't kill me to silence me, will you? That's enough. Don't give me that. Zhang Tao was a little speechless. He was actually very shocked, but now that things had come to this, he had actually guessed a lot of things. He was too lazy to ask Fong Ping, which martial artist did not have any secrets. He had one too. Without dwelling on this, Zhang Tao said seriously, I'm very surprised that you have such an ability, but don't mess around. A peerless powerhouse might be careless for a short period of time and let you barge in, but once you spy on his origin Dao, he will react very quickly. Of course, a typical peerless powerhouse might not be able to discover it quickly, probably not as fast as me. But as long as you step into his Dao, he will be able to sense it. This ability of yours might have some concealment effect on those below the peerless powerhouse level, but I still have to remind you that a top-notch rank 9 might be able to sense it too. And once they find out that you're spying on them, it will definitely be a great feud that will not end until one of you dies. Whether it's humans or catacombs martial artists, it's almost the same. Of course, if someone doesn't care about this, then it's fine. For example, if you want to spy on Wu Quishan and the rest, and they have no objections, then naturally it doesn't matter. But the others, Zhang Tao looked at him and said, I'm really a little surprised that you actually have this ability. Does that mean that you can always do this, to spy on other people's Dao paths and walk your own Dao path? Fong Ping laughed dryly. Minister, you're thinking too much. If it's really that easy, then why am I still cultivating? What happened just now was really an accident. Under normal circumstances, I can't do this. Maybe it has something to do with the minister not putting up a guard against me. I was thinking about this in my mind, and then I really saw it. Zhang Tao gave him a deep look, then suddenly laughed. I won't ask you, and I won't care about you. If you want to spy on humans, I have no objections too. But remember one thing. Zhang Tao's expression was solemn. First, if you're discovered, and others want to find trouble with you, you'll bear all the responsibility yourself. Second, if you really want to spy on other people's Dao, whatever you discover, don't leak it to others. Fong Ping, this is the basic principle of being a person. You can know some secrets, but don't tell them. All these years, I've known more secrets than you, but everything I know is hidden in my heart. It's enough for me to know there's no need to tell others. You have to understand that the Tao of origin may be related to a martial artist's fate, as well as his life. If you talk nonsense and the enemy finds out, when that time comes, Fong Ping, you'll be everyone's enemy. Even I won't be able to save you. You know this in your heart. Third, it's about yourself. Don't ever be influenced by other people's Dao paths. How far can other people's Dao paths go? You can be a bystander, but don't get too deeply involved and subconsciously follow other people's Dao paths. Once that happens, your achievements will be limited. Zhang Tao said indifferently. To put it bluntly, among these martial artists today, how many of them have walked the Dao of origin for a long time? Their Dao paths are just one of thousands of great Daos. How far can they go? If you walk their Dao, you might be able to reach the summit, but what about after that? Maybe their Dao paths are just that long, and you can't go on anymore. Even if you reach the summit, you'll still be one of the weaklings. As for humans, actually, what they need is not a weak summit, a summit that you can't advance to in your lifetime. Fong Ping nodded hurriedly, then shook his head hurriedly, explaining, Minister, I can't do it. What happened just now was really an accident. Zhang Tao sneered. Do you think you can lie to me? I knew you were up to no good. This kid was also bold, daring to test him right in front of me. This time, I've discovered something remarkable. Although he was not in the mood to ask in detail, after thinking for a while, Zhang Tao still said in a low voice, There's nothing unusual in your body. Back then in the land of martial kings, when everyone examined you together, I already knew that there's nothing wrong with your body. But there are some things that you have to pay attention to. If there's a chance, investigate your Sanjiao gate in depth and see if there's anything unusual inside the gate. Also, the Sanjiao gate is actually somewhat related to the origin Dao. Of course, this is my own judgment. Others might not know. Fong Ping's interest was immediately piqued. He asked hurriedly, the Sanjiao gate is related to the origin Dao. It's possible. Zhang Tao said in a low voice. Have you investigated the Sanjiao Gate? Deep inside the gate, it's pitch black. Actually, it's similar to the feeling when you first stepped onto the Origin Dao. You don't know where the gate leads to. Actually, I have a judgment. Just listen to it. Please say it. Fong Ping's expression was solemn. He felt that he might really come into contact with some big secrets. Old Zhang was really awesome. He could discover anything. The Origin Dao that we're walking on now has reached its end. Actually, my guess is that the end is the gate. Fong Ping's pupils contracted sharply. What did he mean? The Sanjiao Gate might be related to the Emperor realm. Zhang Tao said softly. I don't know what the future holds. I also don't know if I'll have the chance to reach this step in this lifetime. But I should tell some people about some of my own conjectures. Maybe there will really be a chance to witness it in the future. Where does the Sanjiao Gate lead to? Maybe the two sides of the path are connected. Walking inward from the Sanjiao Gate and walking forward from the Origin Dao are the same path. 3 gates? I'm not sure if it's for us to walk 3 paths, or if it's because of the different systems that lead to different endpoints. But you might have the chance to walk to this step and try. In short, it's just a guess. At this point, Zhang Tao thought for a while and said, also, if there's a chance, you can try exploring the depths of the Sanjiao Gate. Some of the questions you have might be answered in the Sanjiao Gate. Not only you, Wang Jinyang, and the rest can also try to continue walking and see. They found their weapons in the Sanjiao Gate. Fong Ping looked surprised. You know about this too? Zhang Tao was speechless. Nonsense. Could it be that the ancient weapons that these fellows took out were dug out from the ground? At rank 7, everyone carried ancient divine weapons. If these were not found in the Sanjiao Gate, he could eat these weapons. With Fong Ping's IQ, he still wanted to hide secrets from him. He was too lazy to get involved. He was also unwilling to get too involved with these juniors' affairs. Otherwise, there would not be many martial artists in the world who could hide secrets from him. Stop talking nonsense. Their weapons are in the Sanjiao Gate. There might be some other things inside. However, they might not have found them now because they're in the depths. They can't go forward now. Also, these fellows are a little different from the other resurrected martial artists. The other resurrected martial artists didn't carry these divine weapons. They have almost nothing. Guo Shengquan and the rest must have died in battle. That fellow warlord might have mentioned to you that Wang Jinyang and the rest might have their corporeal bodies in the king's battlefield. The possibility isn't high. Fong Ping was surprised. You mean, they might not have died in battle. They might have sealed themselves. Otherwise, why would the dead have the time to store their divine weapons? Or, even if the divine weapons were in the Sanjiao Gate, the moment they died in battle, they should have collapsed along with the Sanjiao Gate. Their divine weapons are still there. They might be in a state of suspended animation. Their lives are not really cut off. Their Sanjiao Gate is still in an active period. They are in a state of being alive, not dead and reactivated. At this point, Zhang Tao said slowly, let me ask you, were their Sanjiao Gate and Life Gate naturally sealed? Fong Ping's eyeballs were about to pop out. He did not say anything about this. There were not many who knew about it. Other than old Wang and the rest, only he and Qin Fengqing knew. How did Zhang Tao know? Zhang Tao chuckled. If so, then it might be a seal. He sealed the loss of his own life force, including some of his precious items. Fong Ping, they are like this. You aren't, right? I remember now. You seem to have revealed that your Sanjiao Gate was not sealed. So, you might not be like this. No, you're not in the same group as them. Stop pretending, kid. Fong Ping shook his head hurriedly. Don't talk nonsense. I'm in the same group as them. Director, you're wrong. I'm in the same group as Iron Head. If you don't believe me, you can ask him. Zhang Tao sneered. Li Hansong was an idiot. To find someone to rely on, he had to be. What was the point of asking him? All right, whatever you say. I've already said that I don't want to care about these things. You can lie to me however you want. But I have to remind you, these fellows might regain their memories. You should take it easy. As for you, it's really hard for me to judge your situation. I have some clues about the others, but I'm really lacking some crucial information on your side. Zhang Tao exhaled softly. He paused for a while before saying, Fong Ping, I don't ask much of you. My only request is don't betray humanity. Even if one day you become strong and regain your memories or something else, I don't care about these. In this era, there are too many people with secrets. I don't want to care about too many of them. I judge that studying these is just to prepare myself so that I won't be clueless about the enemy. But it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter who you are either. What's important is that when you become strong, don't forget your original intention today. You are Fong Ping. Why did you practice martial arts? For your family? For your friends? Or for the world? No matter what, you're fighting for humanity. I don't want you to overturn everything you've achieved today by yourself one day. Your big family and small family are all fighting for humanity. Fong Ping, don't forget all of this. Fong Ping said seriously, don't worry, Minister. I am me. No matter how strong I am, I won't forget. Zhang Tao chuckled. He said softly, since you have the ability to spy on other people's origins, then I won't say some things. But I'm sure you'll still have to pay a price. Don't spy blindly. If you want to spy, you'll have to find the right person. Those are the same rank who are stronger in combat strength and have gone further in their origins. These people's paths should be stronger. As for me, I don't really care. It's just that my path is too far away from yours. Once you're deep in it, you might not be able to get out. If you want to replicate a second Zhang Tao, then you can look for me when you reach that stage. Fong Ping said subconsciously, if you're not dead, I can't leave. Zhang Tao glanced at him. Was he cursing him? Could you be the same as others? Perhaps you could really replicate other people's paths. This was not impossible. Zhang Tao could not be bothered with him anymore. He felt that it was time for him to leave. There were some things that he had to think about. Also, this kid had such an ability. He had to think of a way to maximize the benefits. If I let this kid spy on the catacombs' martial artist paths, can he spread it? Zhang Tao suddenly looked at Fong Ping, deep in thought. If Fong Ping could let others spy on those origins, although the catacombs' martial artist paths were not long, that was for those who were at the top. If they were not at the top, who would care about these things? Even at the top, there were not many people who cared. If humans could get help like this, would some rank 8 martial artists not be able to step into the origins realm in no time? Physique cultivation techniques, mentality cultivation techniques, imperishable substance, origin path spying. At this moment, Zhang Tao suddenly had a strange feeling. These things appeared one after another at this time. It was as if this was God's will. It was to create countless powerhouses in this era. Is it God's will or man's will? Just a few years after the passageway was fully opened, all the necessary items to increase one's rank suddenly appeared in the human world. It was too much of a coincidence. Chapter 812. Zhang Tao left again. Fong Ping was already used to old Zhang's arrival and departure. Ju Pinnacle was mysterious to others, but he was used to it. After a while, he got used to it. 100 million wealth points? Fong Ping's heart was filled with regret. If 100 million points could help him pry into old Zhang's path, then it would be worth it. A top-notch peerless origin Dao was worth it. But he didn't. He had wasted 100 million wealth points just like that. He felt like dying. Curiosity kills the cat. Why would I spy on old Zhang? Fong Ping scolded himself again and again in his heart, but he did not continue thinking about it. Instead, he mumbled, I'm afraid it's really 10,000 meters long. He was talking about old Zhang's Dao of origin. Old Zhang had always used rice to describe Dao of origin. Fong Ping used to think that it was a description, but now it seemed that it might not be the case. At the very least, in that glimpse, he really saw a road that was at least 10,000 meters long. As for whether there was another end, Fong Ping was not too sure. 10,000 meters, what kind of concept is that? Fong Ping suddenly thought of something. Perhaps he should look at the length of other rank 9's Dao of origin. Perhaps he would be able to see something. Old Zhang's strength had always been a mystery. Perhaps he could sense something this time. Who's the next target? Old Wu? Fong Ping was now interested in origin Dao. However, according to what old Zhang said, a top-notch rank 9 like Wu Quishan might have some weak feelings. Should he look for old Wu? Or should he explain it in advance? However, investigating someone else's source Dao was equivalent to burglarizing someone's home. Even if the person was an acquaintance, it was not easy to do. After the opening ceremony on the 18th, Fong Ping no longer cared about the championship. In the past few days, people have been coming to MCMAU one after another. There were more and more experts, grandmaster-level powerhouses, who were rarely seen, began to gather in MCMAU. As for Fong Ping, he was entertaining the guests while searching for his target. He wanted to find a grade 9 origin source expert to take a look. This time, there were quite a few origin source path experts. MCMU had 4 of them. As for people like Old Man Lee, he had not officially stepped onto the origin path. It would be a waste of time to watch him. Fong Ping was not interested. Other than the few people from MCMAU, 2 rank 9s from the Chen family rushed over on December 20th, Chen Yaozu, Chen Qi. Of these 2, Chen Yaozu was also a peak rank 9, and Chen Qi had also stepped into the ranks of the original path. On the 22nd of December, Wu Chuan rushed over. Another peak level Dao of origin expert had arrived. On December 23rd, Tian Mu arrived. McMao. Tian Mu felt that he had suffered a critical hit. In the living room, Tian Mu glared at Fong Ping, his face full of dissatisfaction. The old man gritted his teeth and scolded. "You're such a snob, aren't you?" In the past, she used to call him senior brother Tian shamelessly. Now that her strength had increased, she looked down on the weak rank 9, right? "I noticed that you didn't even look me in the eye. Staring at Wu Chuan and the others all the time. Isn't it too realistic?" Tian Mu looked gloomy. He was a level 9 powerhouse after all. "What do you mean?" Almost all the rank 9 powerhouses had arrived. This kid just stared at the Tao of Origins. Fong Ping did not even bother to look at a weak rank 9 like him. Tian Mu felt like he had suffered a heavy blow. Beside him, Wang Qinghai did not utter a word. He raised his head and looked at the ceiling. "Don't mention it. You can just ignore a rank 9 like me." He was a grandmaster, but in the living room, Minister Wang felt like he did not exist at all. Tian Mu was unhappy. Fong Ping was speechless too. "I'm just looking for a target to look at the Tao of Origins." Old man Tian was unhappy too. "You haven't even stepped into the Tao of Origins. I don't think you're of much use." Tian Mu had just broken through not long ago. He was still a weak rank 9 now. It was useless to look at him. However, at this time, Fong Ping did not have time to look at him. Hearing Tian Mu's words, he hurriedly smiled and said, "Don't be angry, Senior Tian. I didn't mean that. I was just thinking about something." "What?" Fong Ping chuckled and said, "I was thinking about how many rank 9 monster plants and beasts there are in Magic City catacombs. Among those present, Minister Wang doesn't have a rank 9 divine weapon. Old Dean Liu hasn't returned yet, but he doesn't have a rank 9 divine weapon either. In the boundary zone, I killed a rank 9 beast and seized its demon core. If I add some other materials, it's still possible to forge a rank 9 divine weapon. But now I'm missing 2." As soon as he said this, Chen Yaozu could not help but exclaim, "MCMAU is really rich." MCMU did not need too many rank 9 divine weapons. Guo Shenquan and the other 2, Wu Quishan and Li Changxing, all had rank 9 divine weapons. Lu Polu had one too. Fong Ping had a broadsword and a pair of combat boots. That would make 8 rank 9 divine weapons. Fong Ping still had the rank 9 beast demon core. If the forging was successful, that would make 9 divine weapons. This did not even include Wu Quishan's self-destruction of 2 divine weapons and Li Changxing's self-destruction of 1. Other than that, everyone present, Tian Mu and Wu Chuan's divine weapons were also given by Fong Ping. The divine weapon that Wu Chuan self-destructed earlier was actually brought back by Fong Ping. Fong Ping did not think too much about it. Wu Quishan laughed and said, "In this year and more, Fong Ping has obtained more than 10 rank 9 divine weapons. There are countless rank 7 and 8 ones. Back then, even a rank 7 divine weapon was rare. Now, I have to say that MCMAU has improved too much in these 2 years." Fong Ping laughed. Then he glanced at Minister Wang and said, Then the demon core in my hands will be used to forge a rank 9 divine weapon for Minister Wang. This time, the minister wants to bring the Wuan army into the catacombs and join the battle directly. We need divine weapons. As for old Dean Liu, according to their relationship, Liu Zhen was his grandmaster. It should be given to Liu Zhen. However, Fang Ping felt that it was best if Liu Zhen did not join the battle. He was a scholar type. It was better to stay on the ground. Wang Qinghai chuckled. Give it to me? Aren't you afraid that Lu Fengru will scold you? Fang Ping laughed too. It's fine. I said it was the vice-chancellor's arrangement. I was determined to keep it for my grandmaster. In the end, the vice-chancellor insisted on giving it to the minister. I had no choice. Wu Quishan was speechless. This kid really dared to say that. Was he afraid that he would not die fast enough? Fang Ping laughed for a while and said, Vice-Chancellor, since everyone is here, please make the arrangements. How should we carry out the counterattack this time? You're the one who initiated it. You can make the arrangements. Wu Quishan smiled faintly. I can't be bothered with these things now. Just call me when the battle starts. Everyone burst out laughing. Wu Chuan teased. Why are you still a vice-chancellor? You might as well be like old Liu and be an honorary vice-chancellor. Wu Quishan said with a straight face, that won't do. It hasn't even been 3 years. If I'm demoted now, how can I face others if word gets out? It should at least be 3 years. Everyone burst out laughing again. Fang Ping laughed too. Vice-chancellor, please don't step down. If you become an honorary vice-chancellor and I become the vice-chancellor, won't others say that I'm usurping power? Am I that kind of person? Ha ha ha. Everyone laughed loudly. Wu Quishan shook his head incessantly. You still need to usurp power? Now MCMAU has almost forgotten that I'm the vice-chancellor. Fang Ping made a joke before saying with a straight face, Magic City Catacombs has 12 cities and 24 rank 9s. Last time, 6 died. And now, there are still 3 rank 9 monster plants, 7 rank 9 monsters, and 8 city lords. Among them, there are 7 elemental Dao powerhouses. 3 monster plants are elemental Dao powerhouses. 7 monster beasts, 2 of them are elemental Dao powerhouses. Among the city lords, there are also 2 who are elemental Dao powerhouses. These 7 elemental Dao powerhouses are the most difficult to deal with, especially the monster plants. The monster plants have life essence reserves. If you can't kill it in one go, the other party recovers very quickly. Therefore, to deal with rank 9 monster plants, you must crush and kill them. Wu Quishan smiled faintly. 3 rank 9 monster plants. It's not a big problem for me to deal with too. Chen Yaozu also laughed. You can leave the 2 elemental Dao monsters to me. Relatively speaking, the demons were actually slightly stronger than humans. Both of them were top-notch powerhouses among the rank 9 powerhouses. They were also very confident. Fighting 1 against 2, the other party was also an elemental Dao powerhouse. Both of them were very confident. Even if they could not kill them, they would not be defeated. With rank 9 divine weapons in hand, they had also come a long way in elemental Dao. They were not afraid of these demons at all. Beside Chen Yaozu, old woman Chen Qi also smiled faintly. You can leave the remaining monster plant to me. Old man Li yawned and was about to speak when Wu Chuan coughed softly. Leave the 2 elemental Dao city lords to me. Don't snatch. I'm also a top-notch powerhouse in elemental Dao, okay? Wu Quishan, this fellow, actually snatched my words. I was just thinking that I wanted to deal with 2 rank 9 monster plants. Now, you deal with the monster plants, I deal with the city lord. Isn't this showing that I'm not as strong as you? In the blink of an eye, these 4 people divided the 7 elemental Dao monsters. Seeing that, old man Li was a little gloomy. What about me? I'm also a top-notch powerhouse, okay. Guo Shengquan and the other 2 looked at each other, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Did it mean that the 3 of them did not even get a single elemental Dao? Wang Qinghai and Tian Mu both did not even open their mouths. You guys can divide it up. You guys can fight whoever you want. Fang Ping saw that they had already divided it up and did not say anything more. He continued, there are still 11 rank 9s left. Although they are all weak rank 9s, weak rank 9s are not weaklings either. Vice-Chancellor Gua, will it be difficult for the three of you to deal with two of them each? Gua Shengquan thought for a while before saying, it's not a big problem to hold them back for a while. However, I have to remind you that if a weak rank 9s risk their lives to hold me back, it's not a big problem. I might not be able to completely control two weak rank 9s. After all, I've just broken through. Guanfu also said, that's true. Of course, we've also discovered one thing about the catacombs powerhouses. They're more afraid of death. If one of them goes against us, then there's the risk of dying. Therefore, if we really hold two of them back, I'm afraid the two of them won't be willing to leave one of them to face us. Therefore, there won't be a problem if nothing goes wrong. However, we still have to consider that they're not afraid of death. After all, when it comes to deciding life and death, if they're still afraid of death, then they're underestimating the catacombs powerhouses too much. Fong Ping nodded slightly and continued, in that case, there are only 5 rank 9s left who have no one to deal with. Minister Wang and Senior Tian will take on one each. Instructor Li's explosive power is very strong. It's not too difficult to kill a weak rank 9s alone. Especially now, Instructor Li is a 7th refinement golden body, stronger than the average elemental Dao. It shouldn't take long to kill the other party. You focus on dealing with one person. Leave the other 2 to me. You? Hearing that Fong Ping wanted to fight 1 against 2, everyone raised their eyebrows slightly. Wu Quishan said with a straight face, you're not a rank 9 after all. Why don't you let Chongqing deal with the 2 of them? Fong Ping laughed and said, I'm not planning to kill them. I've experimented before. My golden house can trap a slightly weaker elemental Dao, or 2 weak rank 9s. They can't break my golden house. Therefore, my idea is that I'll trap both of them directly when I come and not fight them. After Instructor Li finishes off that one quickly, I'll send Instructor in. Both of us will enter the golden house together and join forces to kill these 2 weak rank 9s. This will be much easier. This way, Instructor Li and I can be freed very quickly. When that time comes, we'll find an opportunity to kill those weak rank 9s. Wu Quishan pondered for a while. Beside him, Wu Chuan reminded, don't think too lightly. When that time comes, these people will definitely fight with their lives on the line. We're all rank 9s. If we really fight with our lives on the line, it'll be difficult for us too. Don't think about keeping all of them here. What I mean is, you can pick a few people who you want to kill and kill them. As for the rest, we'll leave an opening so that they have space to escape. Once a few of them escape, the rest of us can pretty much keep them here. Otherwise, we'll have to consider when they're in a desperate situation and explode. It might cause casualties. Fong Ping pondered for a while, nodded and said, then we'll focus on killing the Heavenly Plants clan's humans and demons. As for the Destiny clan, we'll focus on holding them back. Of course, we'll kill all of them if we can. What about the catacombs rank 7 and 8 martial artists? Wu Chuan said again. They have about 30 rank 8 martial artists and hundreds of rank 7 martial artists. This isn't a small force. If a fight really breaks out, these people will be the key. Fong Ping laughed and said, they probably aren't guarding the passageway. It'll take time for them to rush over. We'll attack this gap. Of course, if they really come, we have a lot of people on our side this time too. There are also many rank 8 martial artists. Old Lu, Li Han Song, Dean Su, Dean Chun, Dean Hu. Besides, among the 5,000 men regiment commanders of the Wuan military, there are 2 rank 8s. There are also a few rank 8s like Vice-Chancellor Chen Yaoding who will come to help. Over at Star Town side, Li Mo and a few other rank 8 powerhouses will also come to help. All in all, there are about 15 rank 8 martial artists. There are many rank 7 martial artists in MCMAU. This time, there are also many grandmasters coming to help from the martial arts universities. There are also Magic City's local grandmaster-level powerhouses and Star Town's rank 7s. There are probably more than 50 rank 7s. Magic City's 12 catacomb cities. The furthest city is 4 to 5,000 li away from Hope City. Unless these people have been staying nearby, Otherwise, they won't be able to come so quickly. As for when to enter, the minister is in the underground hall now. He can feel the situation at the passageway. If the other party has really gathered, then we won't go in now. Also, if they've really gathered, it's actually a good thing. Fong Ping grinned and said, I've already made arrangements. Once we enter the catacombs, Senior Warlord will announce at Mount Royal Sea that I've arrived. If we enter from Mount Royal Sea, will the catacombs cities dare to send all the high ranks to this side of the passageway without worry? If they really dare, then I'll really enter from Mount Royal Sea. Wu Chuan and the others could not help but laugh. Soon, Tian Mu said again, what about the two big forbidden lands? There are 10 demon kings in 100 Beast Forest and 10,000 Ants Desert. If the true king forces them to participate in the battle, these demons may not continue to sit and watch. I've contacted the demons in the bounded domain. Of course, these demons may not start a war with the other demons. However, as long as they leave the bounded domain, there won't be any movement in 10,000 Ants Desert. If the demons in 10,000 Ants Desert dare to leave, I have no doubt that Jiao and the other demons will immediately conquer 10,000 Ants Desert. The so-called Forbidden Lands all had mineral veins. And it was not just one. If the demon kings in 10,000 Ants Desert dared to leave, then with Jiao's temperament, they might not even attack the cities and directly raze 10,000 Ants Desert. On the other hand, 100 Beast Forest was on the east side of Hope City, in a different direction from Kuokang Mountain. Fong Ping thought of this and muttered, 100 Beast Forest is indeed a little troublesome. If the other demons join the battle, then it'll be troublesome. However, in the beginning, they probably won't join the battle. 100 Beast Forest is also some distance away from here. We can't guard against this. If the 100 Beast Forest demons really want to join the battle, before the demon kings arrive, we must think of a way to escape and quickly leave the catacombs. Everyone looked at each other. This was the only way. The probability of the demons joining the battle was not high. These wild demons were all from the 10,000 Demon Royal Court. The two royal courts could not order and direct them. They were afraid that these demons would feel sympathy for the loss of their own kind and would join in. However, there were some things that, even though they knew this was the case, there was nothing they could do. There were only so many rank 9 martial artists. If more came, the true kings might join forces with the other territories as soon as they entered. When that time came, it would be even more troublesome. Everyone stopped talking about 100 Beast Forest. Wu Quishan asked, what's the specific time? The 28th. Fong Ping smiled. These 2 days, we can make some preparations and forge a rank 9 divine weapon for Minister Wang. On the 28th, when the time is right, we'll enter. Also, MCMU middle-ranked martial artists, as well as martial artists from the Wuhan military and other schools, gather at the Magic City military camp. As long as we have the upper hand and kill more than half of the rank 9 powerhouses, then the victory is set. At this time, let them enter and start clearing the cities. If they can't win against the high-rank martial artists, then don't enter the catacombs to prevent problems. Fong Ping and the others could fight and retreat at the same time. However, if a large number of middle-ranked and low-ranked martial artists entered, it would be difficult, unless they crushed the high-ranked martial artists in the catacombs. At this time, MCMEU instructors and students entered, on one hand, to expand the results of the battle, and on the other, to seize resources. Some of the affiliated cities had to be destroyed directly. Otherwise, if these high-ranked martial artists were defeated, the middle-ranked and low-ranked martial artists might disperse and escape with their belongings. Fong Ping thought for a while and said, also, if we have the upper hand in rank 9, then I might go and kill those rank 7 and 8 martial artists. Huh! The few of them looked at Fong Ping, slightly surprised. If the rank 9 martial artists were defeated, the rank 7 and 8 martial artists were more likely to retreat. Massacring these rank 7 and 8 martial artists would cause trouble. Fong Ping said in a low voice, cut the weeds and eliminate the roots. In reality, he was looking for an excuse for Old Zhang. Old Zhang seemed to want to fight with the true kings. However, if a rank 9 was defeated, the true kings might not rush into the outer territory. However, if Fong Ping massacred those rank 7 and 8 martial artists, it was still within the rules. However, those true kings might not be able to accept such a thing happening. As for whether he could do it or not, Fong Ping's materialization was his greatest confidence. Those who were not as strong as him were trapped inside. He would kill them one by one. Fong Ping calculated it clearly. In the underground hall not far from here, Li Jun was holding a phone laughing. This kid always thinks that everything is under his control. What wishful thinking. I think it's a little risky this time. On the other side of the phone, Li Jun said in a low voice, "It's a little risky." Didn't you tell him? I'll tell him later. Let him have some fun first. Don't delay the business. Li Jun was very dissatisfied. He said somewhat speechlessly, Bamboo King and Green Wolf King have contacted many true kings. Right now, more than 10 rank 9s are gathering in Magic City from the restricted area. Several of their own rank 9s are also rushing over. More than 15 rank 9s. If you don't tell them clearly, they are in the outer territory. Once a battle breaks out, it will be very troublesome. 2,000 li is not considered far. Those catacombs rank 9s are fighting and retreating at the same time. If we converge with them, we might be able to converge very soon. Zhang Tao exhaled. After a while, he said, let's see what happens in Magic City first. The trouble with Shishan Catacombs and Shijiang Catacombs must be resolved. The catacombs rank 9s are gathering in Magic City. The attention in other places will be lower. The number of rank 9s participating in the battle will also decrease. Then the pressure will be on Magic City. Li Jun said hesitantly. It was like this last time. If we put all the pressure on Magic City and MCMU this time, I'm afraid MCMU will feel dissatisfied. The capable do more work. Zhang Tao said helplessly. We also can't gather everyone in Magic City. Magic City has already gathered a group of top-notch rank 9s. Now it depends on whether Fong Ping and the rest can kill the opponent quickly. If they are fast, then the other party's reinforcements are just for show. If they are slow, then there is no other way. They can only give up on Magic City Catacombs. Zhang Tao thought for a while and added, if they really give up on Magic City Catacombs, I suggest Fong Ping go in and fight guerrilla warfare. These people are guarding the passageway, right? Then let Fong Ping destroy the city. Fong Ping wants to achieve a great victory and solve the problem once and for all. However, it is very difficult. There is no other way. If it is not possible, then take it slow. It will be better if he goes in and acts alone. If he brings Li Chongqing along, even 2 rank 9s in a city won't be enough. I actually think this is better, but that kid wants to fight a great victory wholeheartedly. We also have to consider the actual situation. It's up to you. I think it's better for you to make things clear. Also, that day you went to Mount Imperial Sea. Zhang Tao, if we are really defeated and the catacombs rank 9s come out, then we will be in trouble. Li Jun was still a little worried. If Fong Ping and the rest went in, Zhang Tao would also leave. If he left, if Fong Ping and the rest were defeated and returned to the ground, the other party would probably chase after them. Zhang Tao gritted his teeth and said, it's fine. Aren't they just some rank 9? This time I'm going all out. If they come out, then just wait for death. I have buried 3 clones in the concourse. Let them come out if you have the guts. Li Jun was tired. He did not want to talk to this guy anymore. You cut the clones like it's a game. But be careful not to go overboard. You're going to Mount Imperial Sea. Now that you have cut so many, I am afraid that you will suffer a lot of damage. Don't play until the end and play yourself to death. That will be big trouble. Don't be reckless, Zhang Tao. You have cut so much mentality in such a short time. If this goes on, there will be trouble. Zhang Tao laughed. After a while, he said, it's fine. The golden age is here. Recently, my mentality has been growing too fast. The era of national martial arts has begun. The people's hearts are united and their willpower is strong. The momentum is rolling. Cutting some mentality is nothing. Li Jun was a little helpless. He thought for a moment and said, Why don't we change places? I realized that my mentality's growth is average. Why are you so fast? Is it related to the difference between the education ministry and the military department? But logically speaking, during wartime, the military department should be more loyal. Why is it the education ministry? Zhang Tao sneered. I am educating. You are a bore. How can it be the same? Moreover, it depends on who you are. You are so cold and pretend to be cool. Who knows who you are? I am in charge of the education ministry and pushing for a series of reforms. Everyone calls me the minister who is close to the people. How can we be the same? I have told you not to be so cold and to run around more if you have nothing to do. But you just don't believe me. Li Jun held it in for a while and threw out a sentence. Maybe it is a matter of face. I'm not as shameless as you. You are good. You are everywhere. I don't have as much energy as you. Zhang Tao cursed. You are the shameless one. I am close to the people, do you understand? For so many years, I have been taking care of everything in the country. You bastards, all you do is cultivate. Serves you right that no one knows you. Chapter 8:13. Zhang Tao was chatting with Li Jun. Fong Ping had also finished discussing the general arrangements. He moved closer to Wu Quishan and said with a smile, Vice-Chancellor, it's a pity that you didn't reach the summit this time. Wu Quishan saw him smiling like a flower. Instinctively, he felt that something bad was about to happen. He said quickly, I still have something to do. I'll make a move first. Don't. Fong Ping said hurriedly. Vice-Chancellor, you haven't reached the summit yet. I think there might be some problems with your origin Dao. I'll help you see if the problem is serious. How about you take a look at it for me? Fong Ping felt that it was better not to spend money to see Wu Quishan. Wu Quishan was speechless. How do I see it? I'm not dead. How do you see my origin Dao? This thing isn't something you can see just because you want to. If it's really that simple, everyone can find a rank 9 to observe. They can be rank 9 already. If people were not dead, they could not see it. Of course, it was possible to forcefully pry, but it depended on one's ability. There was hope to forcefully pry them at the summit, but they might not see anything other than killing them. When their origin Dao had not dispersed, there was a chance to see it clearly. It was not that Wu Quishan was unwilling. There was really no other way. Origin Dao was very mysterious. It was a person's willpower space. It was not something that existed in reality. As long as people were alive, their origin Dao had the ability to retaliate automatically. When he said that, Fong Ping also reacted. Yes, it seemed like it. Even if a living person voluntarily opened it to you, it might not work. Fong Ping was a little helpless. After thinking for a while, he asked, Vice-Chancellor, how far have you gone with origin Dao? I mean quantified. Origin Dao should also be a Dao. Although it's a little vague, it should be able to measure the distance. Wu Quishan looked at him with some surprise. Beside him, Chen Yaozu also laughed. You know it well. You haven't stepped into Origin Dao yet, right? It feels like you've seen it before. There were many Origin Dao powerhouses here. In the past, there were few Origin Dao powerhouses, so no one talked about it. Today, they happened to gather together. Guo Shengquan also wanted to ask for some advice. He said, Everyone, what's the general situation of Origin Dao? Martial artists nowadays are very taboo about these things. Moreover, this thing is hard to explain. But how should we proceed? It's really a headache. Guo Shengquan sighed and said, Although we borrowed the shadow of our previous life to enter the Origin Dao, now that the shadow is exhausted, what do we do next? This is troublesome. Unfortunately, this thing can only be understood and not explained. I may not understand what you're saying, and you may not understand what I'm saying either. When Fong Ping heard that, he had some ideas. These people could not see each other's origin Daos. Would I be able to describe the situation if I were a bystander? Shaking his head, Fong Ping interrupted. Seniors, let's not talk about this first. Let's talk about how far everyone has traveled so that I can judge everyone's strength and prevent any mistakes. It's not very intuitive to judge based on distance. As Wu Quishan was speaking, Fong Ping said helplessly, Tell me the distance first. We'll talk about the rest later. Didn't the minister say that he wanted to come up with a quantitative standard? Why is there no movement? Just as these words came out, Zhang Tao's voice suddenly rang out in the hall. Zhang Tao laughed and said, "The standard has actually been made. Do you want to hear it?" Fong Ping did not care that his mentality was wandering here. He said hurriedly, "Tell me about it." Modern martial artists are more used to measuring these with data. Since everyone is used to measuring the distance of the road in meters, then I'll say it simply. In the next second, Zhang Tao appeared directly on the spot. He glanced at Fong Ping and sat down, minding his own business. He said, "The length of the origin Dao represents how far you have traveled. The breadth of the origin Dao represents potential. No matter how long the narrow road is, there's still a limit to the potential. The road is wide and boundless like the ocean. This is infinite potential. Of course, no one can do it. It's just a casual remark. Let's just talk about the length of the road. When it comes to potential, it doesn't matter if you're not at the peak. I've asked some origin Dao martial artists. According to my own judgment and experience, the length of the origin Dao in your willpower space is still roughly equivalent to your strength. Using the peak as an example, we can indeed see the distance as 1,000 meters. It might not be accurate, but it's about the same. It's really 1,000 meters? Fong Ping said in surprise. Is there such a coincidence? Zhang Tao laughed. More or less. Maybe in other times there are other distances to measure it. It might not be 1,000 meters. Maybe it's described in units like feet or arcs. That's not an integer value anymore. No matter what, we'll use our own units to measure it. Before the peak, there's a step every 100 meters. I'm talking about the increase in strength. There's not much difference if you walk 10 meters or 99 meters. When you walk 100 meters, that's a small increase. With 100,000 calories vitality as the base, then 100 meters of the origin Dao, your increase might be able to increase your vitality to 110,000 calories. As Zhang Tao said that, he thought for a while and said, not necessarily. I've already said that everyone's road is different. 110,000 calories is the normal standard. Some martial artists' origin Dao is weak and might not be able to reach it. Some might be slightly stronger. This also depends on the person. When you walk 999 meters at this time, you'll feel that the increase is no different from 1,000 meters. However, I've told you guys before that 1,000 meters will have a qualitative change. Your vitality strength will also double, and your golden body will also become stronger. So, these two are different. Fong Ping nodded. If that's the case, the origin Dao uses 1,000 meters as the standard to distinguish the peak from the non-peak. You can understand it that way. Fong Ping said again, what about the impasse? What if some people walk two paths? What if some people walk further on the road to the peak? Are they all 1,000 meters as a step? Fong Ping was in disbelief. Old Zhang's was super long. If it was 10,000 meters, according to this, would it not be a 10 times increase? Stop joking. Old Zhang's foundation was strong. His own vitality might be as high as 300,000 calories. With a 10 times increase and a qualitative change in vitality, would it not be 6 million calories vitality strength? What was the point of fighting then? Compared to a new rank 9 martial artist, there was a 60 times difference. When the gap between martial artists reached 60 times, it was no longer a matter of crushing the other party. They could kill you with just a breath. 100,000 calories vitality and 110,000 calories vitality could still fight, but 100,000 calories against 200,000 calories, their lives would be destroyed immediately. Zhang Tao said with a faint smile, "Why are you asking this? You're not at the impasse." "I'm just asking." Fong Ping laughed dryly. "At least I want to know how to walk in the future. I don't think the origin path is too difficult for me." Zhang Tao smiled. Maybe. He suspected that this kid saw something and wanted to find out his strength. Zhang Tao did not care, though. He smiled faintly and said, "In the impasse, we usually measure it by how many paths we walk. This is not accurate. Some people walk a little on the second path. Are they considered powerhouses who walk 2 paths? Walking 1,000 meters on one path, is this considered a 2 times increase? Actually, it's impossible. Let me talk about martial artists who walk to the end of one path. Zhang Tao pondered for a moment and said, when you reach the impasse, it's not a step 100 meters, but a step 1,000 meters. In other words, if I walk 1,000 meters, then my increase is 1 times. When I reach 2,000 meters, it's 1 times. According to this calculation, when I reach 9,000 meters, it's 8 times. At this time, if I walk to 10,000 meters, there will be another transformation, directly entering the state of 2 times increase. 2 times does not equal 2 paths. Do you understand what I mean? The others looked at Zhang Tao in surprise. Why did he say so much to Fong Ping? Could it be that Fong Ping really had the hope of reaching this realm in a short time? Wu Quishan thought for a while and said, then if a person just reached 1,000 meters on one path and can't go any further, he starts walking on the second path and also walks 1,000 meters. How does this count? Zhang Tao laughed. Do you know why martial artists who walk 2 paths at the same time? Those who walk 2 paths mean that one of them can't go on. Those who can go on, no one is willing to walk 2 paths. You have to understand this. In other words, those who walk 2 paths are powerhouses who have reached the end of their path. I'll give you an example. Take Suppressing King, for example. Senior Chen Yaozu also knows about his situation. Of course, I'm just saying, don't take it seriously. I'm just borrowing someone's name. Fong Ping and the others looked at each other. You gave an example. Not only did you have to talk about Suppressing King, but you also had to say that you were just borrowing someone's name. Why did it sound like you were trying to cover up? Zhang Tao did not care what they thought. He laughed and said, Suppressing King took 2 paths. He couldn't walk the first path to 10,000 meters. Let's call it 9,000 meters. Then his origin would increase by 8 times. Walking the second path is more difficult, and the increase is smaller. For example, if he walked 1,000 meters on the second path, that means he achieved the peak of the second path. Then his increase will not be as much as before, around 0.05. If that's the case, it means that he has achieved the second path, and his combat strength will increase by 85 times. Next, for every 1,000 meters, the increase will be about 0.05 times, and the effect will be weakened. In that case, he needs to walk 4,000 meters on the second path to have a double increase. If at this time he can't go on anymore and starts to walk the third path, then the effect will be weakened again, reduced again. The first 2 paths could only walk less than 10,000 meters. The third path would be even more difficult, and it might be even shorter. It might only be 2,000 meters, and the increase of the third path would probably only be 0.025 for 1,000 meters. In that case, Suppressing King's first path would be 9,000 meters, and the increase would be 8 times. The second path would be 4,000 meters, and the total increase would be 2 times. The third path would be 2,000 meters, and the total increase would only be 2.05 times. If he continues to walk the fourth path, the fifth path, the effect will still decrease. In the end, unless he really walks out of the 10,000 paths, the increase will increase every time. If this goes on, he might be able to walk to the third position. But the difficulty is extremely high. There's almost no such possibility. Fong Ping licked his lips and could not help but say, in that case, the increase of Suppressing King's combat strength might only be slightly more than 2 times. Zhang Tao smiled faintly. Do you think it's very weak? No, it's very strong. Maybe you think it's weak, but you have to know that for many people, a path will be broken after walking 1,000 meters. Take Life King, for example. Do you think Life King is really strong? He is also a powerhouse who has walked out of 2 paths, but the first path will not exceed 6,000 meters, an increase of 1.5 times. The second path is about 4,000 meters, which is not considered low. In that case, the increase of his combat strength is as high as 1.7 times. As for his basic vitality, they do not use vitality to measure it, so they will use it for now. When he first became a true king, his basic vitality was about 250,000 calories. In reality, this would also increase as the realm increased. This was also the reason why powerhouses become stronger. It's not just the increase of origin path. His current basic vitality strength is probably 300,000 calories. After all, he has been in this realm for many years. He has been improving, not stagnating. In that case, 7 times is not 510,000 calories. This increase is based on the current foundation. In other words, the original 300,000 calories is not included. In reality, his origin path has increased to 510,000 calories. In addition to the basic 300,000 calories, his vitality strength is 810,000 calories. It's comparable to the non-peak 62 million calories, Zhang Tao sighed. You guys don't understand. When vitality reaches 1 million calories of destructive power, at this time, it's really a process of qualitative change. Once a martial artist like Life King goes all out, Magic City will probably be destroyed in an instant. When fighting with such a powerhouse in Sino Nation, if you go all out and don't control any overflow of energy, the whole of Sino Nation will be destroyed. When everyone heard this, they sighed. He was really strong. It was comparable to their vitality of more than 6 million calories compared to some of the current rank 9s. The gap was more than 10 times. With such a huge gap, if Life King beat them up, it would be a matter of a casual punch. What was the concept of 10 times? A rank 9 martial artist vitality of more than 100,000 calories was about 10 times that of a rank 6. A rank 9 fighting a rank 6 was also about to happen in the blink of an eye. On the basis of a rank 9, if they were 10 times stronger, was there really anyone who could defeat a peak in a non-desperate state? Of course, Life King was a little ridiculously strong. After all, he was one of the few powerhouses who had taken 2 paths in the catacombs. He was also the true King Hall's Hallmaster. Not every peak was that strong. While the others were discussing, Fong Ping was thinking about something. Old Zhang said that he was giving an example. It might not be false. Maybe it was true. In that case, Sky Suppressing was much stronger than Life King. Fong Ping did not care about this. This was also the truth. Otherwise, Sky Suppressing would not be able to suppress these people. The key was Old Zhang. Fong Ping still remembered his words. The kind of person who walked the path until the end. 10,000 meters would be twice the increase. Old Zhang had walked 10,000 meters. This guy would not be comparable to Sky Suppressing, would he? 10,000 meters should also be a new step. Most peak might not be able to reach this step. Fong Ping did not ask Old Zhang. Instead, he asked about Li Zhen and Warlord. In the next moment, Fong Ping asked curiously, Minister, how far did Senior Warlord and Commander Li go? It's a secret. Don't. Fong Ping smiled hurriedly. Minister, please enlighten us. After all, we know nothing about these things. At least we have an understanding. Next time, we will know which true kings are weak, which peaks are weak, who we can provoke, who we can't provoke. Before he finished speaking, everyone in the hall was looking at him. What did he mean? You think you can provoke absolute pinnacles and true kings who are weak? This guy was too arrogant. Chun Yaozu and Chun 7 were not familiar with Fong Ping. However, at this moment, they did not know whether to laugh or cry. Why did it seem like peaks were nothing in this kid's words? Also, according to Fong Ping, Chun Gaiang was actually someone who could be provoked. Weak peaks. Chun Yaozu felt a headache coming on. When he went back, he would tell his father that a weak peaks like him were looked down upon. What would he think? Peaks were myths. Now, there were people who did not treat myths as myths anymore. Zhang Tao saw that everyone was curious. He smiled and said, then I'll just say it casually. Don't tell anyone. Also, don't talk about this in front of those few people. I promise I won't mention it. Fong Ping promised hurriedly. He was quite dissatisfied with Sino Nation's ranking. It was not reliable at all. This time, he might be able to find out the truth. Warlord is a senior martial artist after all. These years, he seems to have understood his own path. Actually, he's walking quite fast. Zhang Tao was not stingy with his praise for Warlord. Then he said, he probably hasn't walked more than 10,000 meters, but he should be at least 8,000 meters. Maple King might not be his match. Don't be fooled by Maple King's concealment. Even if he has taken the second path, it depends on how far he has walked. Maple King's foundation isn't too strong. He walked 7,000 meters at most on the first path. If he wants to catch up to Warlord, he'll need to walk at least 2,000 meters on the second path. Even if he has achieved the second path, it hasn't been long. He might not have walked this far. Therefore, it's hard to say who will win between him and Warlord. Fong Ping was not surprised. Warlord was someone who had killed a true king. Although there were some other factors in this kill, killing a true king was powerful. Other than Heavenly King Garrison, only Warlord had done it. If it's Li Jun didn't walk as far as Warlord. Zhang Tao chuckled. Don't be fooled by Li Jun's fame. He's the #1 paragon in Sino Nation, but he didn't walk as far as Warlord. Of course, the difference isn't big. 6,000 meters should be about the same. In other words, Li Jun isn't as powerful as Warlord and Maple King. However, it depends on his performance. Li Jun's foundation is good. Although he might not be Maple King's match, Maple King has a chance of beating him. It's impossible for him to kill him. Even Life King is a little lacking. If he really wants to kill a powerhouse at Li Jun's level, Heavenly King Garrison might be able to do it, but it'll be very difficult. Fong Ping looked at him strangely. Did Old Zhang mean that he could actually do it too? It couldn't be, right? Old Zhang could kill Li Jun? Defeating and killing were two completely different concepts. Zhang Tao did not seem to think about this. He said, let's not talk about the paragons in Sino Nation. The other paragons are weaker than these two. When he said this, Fong Ping and Old Zhang automatically ignored Old Zhang himself. However, the others did not think so much. Old Man Li chuckled. Minister, does this mean that you're ranked 4th in Sino Nation at most? Heavenly King Garrison, Warlord, Commander Li, and then you? Zhang Tao glanced at him. You're an idiot. I'm pointing out the world and commenting on the paragons. What does this mean? Do you understand? What kind of person is qualified to comment on the paragons? In this world, only a few people are qualified. Even Warlord is a little lacking. Other than Heavenly King Garrison, the Li people are all a little stupid. Zhang Tao ignored him and continued. Let's talk about the other 5 sacred lands. Among them, Pantheon Heaven is slightly stronger. We'll use 5,000 meters as the limit. Pantheon Heaven has 2 people who have walked more than 5,000 meters. One is Warlord, the other is Sun God. The other is Ancient Buddha's sacred land. First Ancient Buddha has also walked more than 5,000 meters. As for Wana World, Grand Pharaoh has also walked more than 5,000 meters. As for Andes and Totem World, these 2 sacred lands are relatively weaker. They don't have such powerhouses. Wu Quishan was shocked. Only 4? They have many paragons too, but only 4 of them have walked more than 5,000 meters? Zhang Tao glanced at him and said indifferently, do you think it's easy? Let's put it this way. The first 3,000 meters are relatively easier. The later it gets harder. Above 5,000 meters, it's as hard as climbing to heaven. Or, many people have already broken their path. They can't go on anymore. Fong Ping did not care about this. Instead, he asked curiously, Minister, have there been people who broke their path after walking 1,000 meters? Yes. Everyone fell silent. There were such weak paragons. They had just reached the paragons, and their path was broken. Zhang Tao said calmly, can't they? Paragons mean that they have reached their limit. It's normal to break their path. Not only that, it's not just 1 or 2. Let's put it this way. There are hundreds of true kings in the catacombs. There are no less than 50 of them who stopped at 1,000 meters. What about humans? There are humans too. Not many. They've walked a distance. Zhang Tao did not elaborate. If he continued, those paragons would fall out with him. Fong Ping understood. If that's the case, among the human paragons, Heavenly King Jin and are on the same level. Commander Li, Warlord, God of War, Sun God, First Ancient Buddha, and Great Pharaoh are on the same level. There's also the one from the Su family. Zhang Tao ignored Fong Ping's previous sentence and laughed. The Su family's elder ancestor is called the Sword King. Do you know why no one dares to call themselves the Sword King anymore? When Li Jinqing was at the Paragons, someone suggested him to use this title. However, outsiders did not know the situation in Polaris. The Su family's elder ancestor is also a swordsman, many years before Li Jun. Li Jun would never call himself the Sword King. If Li Changsheng wants to omit the word longevity and become the Sword King, then he can just find a time to kill the Su family's elder ancestor and replace him. Old man Li was speechless. Why do I need to omit the word longevity? I'm the longevity Sword King. Am I breaking the law? I must use a 3-word title, Longevity Sword. More than you guys. Fong Ping chuckled. Is there a Demon King? I don't think so. Zhang Tao chuckled. There isn't. But you're someone who's going to be an emperor. Calling yourself a king is too shabby. If Unquestionable Sword is still alive, you'll have some sort of relationship with him sooner or later. Think about it carefully. That fellow's strength is not weak. If he's really alive, I'm afraid his combat strength is not weaker than the subduing king, maybe even stronger. Of course, it's hard to say without fighting him. Fong Ping did not mind. He said calmly, it's fine if he doesn't come looking for me. If he really comes looking for trouble when I'm at the Paragons, I'll definitely beat him up. After saying that, Fong Ping laughed again. Minister, how about getting me a copy of the Paragons' ranking list? You can just get one in private, including the catacombs. I'll see how it goes. Everyone was speechless again. Zhang Tao, however, stroked his beard and laughed. No problem. But if this thing gets out, I won't admit it. You'll be in trouble. Paragons care about their reputation. Logically, they won't participate in these rankings. If you put people at the bottom of the list, others might go crazy. Zhang Tao went on for a while. At last, he said, about the origin path, that's about it. Also, what I've said about the Paragons today are all examples. It's not real. If you guys spread it out, you'll be beaten up. Don't blame me for not reminding you. After throwing these words, Zhang Tao came and left quickly. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared. Fong Ping, however, felt that this was not just a simple explanation of strength. He seemed to have found out some secrets. It shouldn't be. Fong Ping looked in the direction where Zhang Tao had left and muttered to himself. Was old Zhang bragging? Was he really that powerful? Less than 20 years after achieving Paragons, and he was already comparable to the subduing king? Looks like there's still a reason to walk on one path until the end. According to old Zhang, those who walk on 2 or 3 paths are people who have no future. These people don't have much potential. Fong Ping dared not say these words. He was afraid that he would be beaten to death. If the subduing king and the others did not care, then so be it. If they did, they could slap him to death. A rank 8 martial artist dared to look down on them, a group of powerhouses who stood proudly at the top of martial arts. 9 Heavens, Divine Emperor. Chapter 814. Old Zhang explained the differences in combat strength starting from the origin Dao. Fong Ping wanted old Zhang to come up with an ultimate combat strength ranking. In the end, the next day, old Zhang really threw him a ranking that he had made himself. As an omnipresent apex expert, he had been to the domain lands, the forbidden seas, the forbidden zones. Among the humans, the only one who had been to more places than old Zhang was probably the subduing heavenly king. There weren't many people who had seen more pinnacle experts than Zhang Tao. The moment he received the ranking list, Fong Ping was a little surprised and a little solemn. The list given by old Zhang was especially interesting. This was not a ranking list for humans, nor was it a question that included only powerhouses from the catacombs. This was a ranking list from ancient times to the present, or rather, the ranking of those who might still be alive. Not only that, but for some reason, old Zhang had also started playing the game Otherworld Invasion recently and came up with a detailed combat strength index. Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. Old Zhang probably had nothing better to do recently, so he started researching these things. However, from old Zhang's point of view, perhaps these people were his biggest research targets and targets that he cared about the most. First, Heavenly King Li Xuanxie. Basic vitality, 300,000 calories and above. 2 great paths, suspected to be on the 3rd great path. Combat strength increased by about 2 times. Power control, 90% plus weapon. Suspected to be a desperate ancient warrior divine weapon. Original unique skills. Suppress character formula. Xing character formula. Tian character formula. Self-created unique skill. Higher increase in strength. Overall combat strength. 1,200,000 calories vitality destructive power. Peak vitality essence. Second, Demon Emperor unquestionable sword. Basic vitality. More than 300,000 calories. Suspected to have 3 great paths. Combat effectiveness increased by about 3 times. Power control. 90% plus weapon. Unknown. Unique skill. Unknown overall combat strength. Around 1,200,000 calories. Never met guess. Third, Sky Plant King. Overall combat strength. 1,200,000 calories and above. Injured, strength has declined to around 1 million calories. The fourth was the Destiny Monarch, who was on par with the Sky Plant Monarch. The fifth was the Demon Lord of the 10,000 Demon Royal Court. His combat strength was around 1 million calories. Number 6, King Qian, combat strength around 1 million calories. The seventh was the Guardian Demon Lord with a combat strength of around 1 million calories. Eighth, the Demon King of the Forbidden Land, 10,000 miles away from the Forbidden Sea. Combat strength around 1 million calories. The ninth was the Master of the Mount Wanwu Grotto Heaven, with a combat strength of around 1 million calories. The 10th was the Master of the Weiyu Mountain Grotto Heaven. His combat strength was around 1 million calories. Fang Ping was stunned. In the top 10, there was no fake king to be seen. Zhang Tao himself was not on the list either. He had removed himself from the list. Fang Ping had never seen any of the top 10 powerhouses. He did not even see the Heavenly King subduing Heavenly King last time. However, Heavenly King Jintian was actually ranked first. This was not the current ranking of the absolute peak participants. There was also the existence of the Lord of the Heavenly Abode. Fang Ping was a little surprised. Old Zhang had seen these Grotto Heaven Masters before? If not, how would he know how strong these people were? In his impression, Li Jun and the others, who were incomparably powerful, were not ranked high. After the top 10 were the people Fang Ping was familiar with. Number 11. The Master of Quokang Mountain Grotto Heaven. The 12th place, the Master of the Purple Cap Mountain Cave. Number 13, Master of Mount Amaze Cave, Su Ling Cave. The 14th was the Master of the Taibai Mountain Heaven, Xuanda Heaven. Number 15, Life King. Number 16, Li Zhu, Doubtful. Number 17, Maple King. Number 18, King of 100 Mountains. Ranked 19th, Battle King. Number 20, Sun God. Number 21, Li Jun. Number 30, Sword King, elder ancestor of the Su family. Li Jun, who was known as the number 1 absolute peak in Sino Nation, was not in the top 20. Old Zhang ranked him 21st. A large number of Lord of the Heavenly Abode occupied the rankings. Even Battle King, who had once killed a true king powerhouse, was only at the bottom of the top 20. Old Zhang did not list out all the absolute peak participants. The list stopped at the 30th place. After the 21st place, there were actually 2 demons from the Myriad Demon Royal Court on the list. There were no demons from the Guardian Royal Court on the list. On the other hand, the Sword King from the Su family barely made it into the top 30. He was ranked 30th. If Old Zhang was on the list himself, then the Su family might not even be on the list. Just like that, Old Zhang added a sentence at the end. This was only the ranking of the people he knew so far. These people were generally confirmed to be alive. As for how someone like the Devil Emperor could confirm that he was still alive, Zhang Tao did not explain. As for whether he could stand shoulder to shoulder with Heavenly King Jintian, Zhang Tao did not say either. Fang Ping suspected that Zhang Tao might be slightly weaker than Heavenly King Jintian and the others, but the difference was not huge. They should be about the same. Isn't Life King extremely powerful? How can his ranking be so low? Unbelievable. Fang Ping was a little surprised. According to the ranking, Life King was actually the weakest among the 4 true King Palace Lords. The other 3 were all in the top 10. King Qian, whom he had never met before, was ranked even higher. The waters are deep. I've never heard of many people in the top 30. Old Zhang's ranking is below Li Zhu, a powerhouse like Maple King who has taken 2 Dao paths. If that's the case, Old Zhang is now sure that Li Zhu's strength is still there. Fang Ping was looking at the list. Li Hansong and the others who had just entered also wanted to poke their heads out to take a look, but Fang Ping kept the list. Li Hansong saw this and chuckled. What's wrong? Love letter? Can I look at it? There's no need to look at it. It's unrelated to you guys. Fang Ping shook his head. It was useless to look at it. At least for Iron Head and the others, there was no need to look at it now. Old Zhang showed it to Fang Ping because Fang Ping often provoked desperation powerhouses. It was better to let this guy know that it was better not to provoke some people. It was too troublesome. Fang Ping did not provoke the top 10 on the list. However, Fang Ping did provoke a few of the top 20. Li Hansong heard this and laughed. He did not say anything. Beside him, Qin Fengqing chuckled. I don't have to guess to know that it's not something useful. Fang Ping, the war is about to start. Aren't you going to give me something to save my life this time? Having said that, Qin Fengqing winked. Give me some imperishable substance to save my life. Fang Ping shot him a look and said impatiently, I won't give it to you even if I give it to you. You're a rank 7 martial artist. You might not even have a chance to go on the battlefield. Isn't it a waste to give it to you? Of course I've prepared it. You can talk here. When Qin Fengqing heard this, he was speechless. Since when was a rank 7 so unpopular? Thinking about it made him feel tired. He had always been chasing after them, but there was never a chance to surpass them. When would this day come to an end? Beside him, Li Hansong chuckled. Qin Fengqing, you should just watch the show. It's too dangerous for you to go on the battlefield. I don't need you. Get lost. Qin Fengqing scolded. Then he grinned and said, you guys just wait and see. I'll surpass you guys sooner or later. Fang Ping looked at him suspiciously. Where did this guy get the confidence to say this from? Qin Fengqing's progress was not considered slow. He was currently at middle stage rank 7, but his mentality was improving at a relatively fast pace. His big round celestial bridge was very helpful in condensing his brain nucleus. Fang Ping had not obtained the method to materialize the brain nucleus for a long time. Many people had not completed it until now. Qin Fengqing, on the other hand, had already achieved the method and was currently honing it. If this went on, he might be able to achieve upper stage rank 7 very soon. Fang Ping had given him some golden fruits and imperishable substances last time. He might be able to achieve rank 8 very soon. Even if he was a rank 8, he did not have the capital to surpass Iron Head, right? Qin Fengqing did not say much. He quickly changed the topic. Old Wang said earlier that there's something strange at Nanjiang's Purple Cap Mountain. Fang Ping, when are we going to take a look? We'll talk about it later. He had told him about Old Wang's matter before. However, Fang Ping had a lot of things to do now. Now that the gates of the boundaries had been opened to him, there were many places he could go to. However, Fang Ping felt that Purple Cap Mountain was the most mysterious of them all. The Demon Emperor might be among them, and the master of the Purple Cap Mountain Grotto Heaven actually participated in the ranking. This meant that the two of them were not the same person. Perhaps there were other living people in the Purple Cap Mountain. That damn place was very dangerous. Among these domains, the Xuanda Grotto Heaven and the Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven were the safest. He had gone to the Xuanda Grotto Heaven previously, and the owner of the Su Ling Grotto Heaven did not seem to be too overbearing. The last time Tai Tu went in, he was only thrown out and not killed. However, Fang Ping thought of something else. The Yang family's old ancestor had fallen in the Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven. What was the reason behind this? As the master of the Void Mausoleum Paradise, his ranking was above that of a Fate Monarch. Indeed, he had the strength to kill an absolute pinnacle existence. But why would he kill the Yang family old ancestor for no reason at all? According to Old Zhang and Battle King, they might be the gatekeepers of the Grotto Heaven. The old ancestor of the Yang family might also have come from the Void Mausoleum Cave Heaven. Fang Ping was still thinking about this when Li Hansong suddenly said, I almost forgot. I'm looking for you for official business. High Grandmaster Elvision is back. We happened to meet on the way, and he asked me to inform you. He's looking for you for something. Looking for me? Fong Ping remembered that when LV Jun was taken away by old Zhang last time, he had said that he had some research results that were about to come out. He had not seen LV Jun for the past few days. Did that mean that there were results? A few minutes later, Southern Area, MCMU Munitions Factory. Fong Ping saw LV Jun. LV Jun was a little excited at this moment. When he saw Fong Ping, he hurriedly pointed at the thing in front of him and laughed. "I made it. Too bad the time is too short. With more time, I can make it even better." At this time, there were already many people gathered here. Everyone knew that LV Jun liked to research these kinds of messy things. In order to research mentality cultivation methods, he did not hesitate to take the risk and go to the domain. This was also a weirdo among grandmasters. At the grandmaster level, martial artists actually rarely did these things. Take Fong Ping, for example. When he was weak, he still started a company to run. In the end, until now, his mind was full of improving his strength and robbing the catacombs. He did not care much about the company. After LV Jun finished speaking, everyone looked at the thing in front of him. Fong Ping glanced at it and said in surprise, "Energy cannon?" This was very similar to the energy cannon he had seen before. He had seen it in many places. Hope City had it, and some catacomb cities had it too. However, this thing was a metal-swallowing beast. Moreover, it was not very effective against high-rank martial artists. Middle-rank martial artists would find it difficult to kill it. Wu Quishan said thoughtfully, "Old LV, this should be an improved energy cannon, right? Could it cause damage to high-ranked martial artists?" "It's not an energy cannon," LV Jin smiled and said with extreme satisfaction. "It's very difficult to hurt high-ranked martial artists with pure energy bombardment, especially rank 8 martial artists. Their bodies are forged with a golden body. Energy cannons are almost useless. You guys have forgotten that my main research is on mentality attacks. Our high-ranked martial artists can't wantonly slaughter those middle-ranked and low-ranked martial artists. However, when war breaks out, middle-ranked and low-ranked martial artists suffer heavy casualties. Actually, I made this to reduce casualties on the middle-ranked and low-ranked battlefields. For middle-ranked and low-ranked martial artists, the most lethal force is none other than mentality." LV Jin chuckled and said, "I call this the pressure cannon. The main core is the monster's brain nucleus. With the brain nucleus as the foundation, martial artists fill it with mentality or vitality force. After the conversion, a powerhouse's mentality pressure is released to kill the weak. Even if they can't kill the other party, they can suppress the other party. And this doesn't require high-ranked martial artists to do it. The vitality force of middle-ranked and low-ranked martial artists can also be converted. However, it's still a little difficult to solve now. At present, the conversion ratio is too big." LV Jin thought for a while and said, "According to the conversion ratio, mentality and vitality force can be converted to each other. Maybe 1 to 10 is enough. But now, the pressure cannon has probably reached a few hundred to 1. In other words, a few hundred cal of vitality may only be converted to 1 hertz mentality pressure. However, if mentality is less than 1,000 hertz, the pressure is not strong, and it's difficult to achieve suppression. If it's controlled by rank 6 martial artists, at least 10 rank 6 martial artists will have to exhaust their vitality to create a pressure comparable to a rank 7. Before he could finish his sentence, everyone turned to look at the pressure cannon. Fong Ping was also surprised. LV Jun could actually make this? Was it worth it to use 10 rank 6 martial artists to exhaust their vitality and release a rank 7 pressure? Of course it was worth it. There was a fundamental difference between a rank 7 and a rank 6. Fong Ping thought of a problem and asked hurriedly, "Old LV, is this controllable? I mean, when the pressure erupts, can it only target the enemy, or will it cover the whole area?" LV Jin laughed and said, "It's controllable. If it really covers the whole area, then it won't be very useful. Do you see the cannon barrel? The reason why I made this cannon barrel is actually for positioning. It's specifically targeted in the direction." "This is a good thing," Fong Ping said with some excitement. "If that's the case, if a large number of martial artists inject vitality at the same time, doesn't that mean that a middle-ranked can also kill a high-ranked?" Rank 8 aside, a rank 7 martial artist physique strength is actually average. Their strength lies in the suppression of mentality. If we can suppress their mentality, even a middle-rank martial artist can kill the other party through the air, exploding the other party's flesh. Old LV. How did you do it? Vitality force can actually be converted into mentality? LV Jean said with a face full of smiles. Actually, I've been researching this for a long time, but before that I was still lacking a little. This time at Quoking Mountain, I have some ideas. However, this thing is not without flaws. It's very flawed. It requires a demon's brain nucleus to act as a converter, and it's the kind that is expendable. After a long time, the brain nucleus will collapse. Moreover, a rank 7 demon's brain nucleus can only explode a rank 7 pressure. Forging a divine weapon requires the brain nucleus and the heart nucleus together. We often harvest some brain nuclei or heart nuclei separately. If they are not from the same demon, then the value will be greatly reduced. A long time ago, MCMU was actually doing this research. MCMU's pressure room. I was the one who helped old you build it. Fong Ping suddenly remembered this matter. Fong Ping really did not care much about MCMU's pressure room. Back then, when Lu Fengru wanted to go to the pressure room to cultivate, the others did not let her go. They were afraid that she would be crushed to death by the pressure, which was not a good thing. However, at that time, Fong Ping's own mentality was very strong, so he did not care much about this. Now that he thought about it, MCMU's pressure room seemed to be really unique. Using the incomplete brain nucleus and heart nucleus to gather together and explode a powerhouse's pressure, so that other non-high-rank martial artists could feel a powerhouse's pressure. So it was made by LV Jun. Fong Ping did not care about the consumption. A brain nucleus alone was actually of average use. Moreover, there was no shortage of divine weapons now. Even if it was not alone, it could still be used. Fong Ping said with a smile. What old LV means is that if there is a rank 9 brain nucleus, it can actually explode a rank 9 pressure. Then the consumption will be too great. LV Jean explained, the stronger it is, the greater the pressure, and the higher the quality. If a rank 7 can convert a few hundred cal of vitality into 1 hertz, then at rank 9, it might be thousands of cal. To explode a rank 9 pressure, a rank 9 martial artist mentality pressure level has to reach at least 6,000 hertz and above. To achieve this level, the consumption of vitality is as high as 6 million calories and above. The limit of a rank 6 martial artist is 10,000 cal. In other words, at least 600 peak rank 6 martial artists can explode such a pressure. Wu Quishan waited for him to finish and asked immediately, this is a middle-ranked martial artist. There is a difference in quality between the vitality force of low-rank martial artists. If we convert it, will it consume more vitality? Of course, double the amount. Wu Quishan thought for a moment and said, the limit of a rank 3 martial artist is 1,000 cal vitality. Double that, that would be 12 million calories vitality. How many people would that need? Peak rank 3 martial artists would need more than 10,000 people, but 10,000 rank 3 martial artists can explode a rank 9 pressure. This is also very scary. 10,000 rank 3 martial artists were all killed by a rank 9's outburst of force. LV Jun shook his head again and said, you can't calculate it like that. Think about it yourself. How can such a small cannon let 10,000 people provide vitality at the same time? There are still a lot of limitations. This thing doesn't have the ability to store vitality at the moment. It must be filled on the spot and explode on the spot. Otherwise, vitality will be lost. There are most a few dozen people standing near this cannon. Middle-rank martial artists can provide some vitality through the air, but it can only kill 100 people at most. As Elvision said that, he smiled and said, what I'm thinking about now is how to make the conversion ratio smaller. Minister Zhang asked me to ask Li Chongqing about this. Li Chongqing's path is to unite all paths. He uses vitality to convert mentality. Although the consumption is also great, it should be better than the pressure cannon. Also, regarding the problem of vitality storage, maybe we can study it If it can be charged in advance and stored together, it can explode directly. When that time comes, middle-ranked and low-ranked martial artists will have the ability to kill high-ranked martial artists. In a real sense, a large number of middle-ranked and low-ranked martial artists can play a role. LV Jun was still talking, but Fong Ping suddenly said, "This thing can't be brought in." LV Jun was stunned for a moment. Fong Ping said with a serious expression, "We think that this thing is very useful. It will help us. Don't forget, the catacombs is the place where everyone practices martial arts. The number of their martial artists is hundreds, thousands of times more than ours. If this thing is taken away by them and they research it, then we'll be in big trouble. We're not as good as them to begin with. If they also come up with this, then the battlefield in the future will no longer be a simple matter of high-ranked martial artists winning." Fong Ping realized an extremely serious problem. At first, he did not pay much attention to this thing that LV Jun came up with. Now, however, Fong Ping was extremely vigilant. The pressure cannon. Fong Ping stared at the huge cannon in front of him for a while. This was a weapon that could really kill high-ranked martial artists. He almost forgot about it. As soon as Fong Ping said that, Wu Quishan also realized the seriousness of the problem instantly. He said suddenly, "Old LV, it's best not to bring this thing into the catacombs. If it's seized by someone..." As he said that, Wu Quishan said hurriedly, "Is it difficult to make this thing?" LV Jun saw that everyone was staring at him, and only then did he come to a realization. He said slowly, "It's not difficult for those who know, but it's not difficult for those who know. If it's really seized and the other party dismantles it, with powerhouse's strength, it's not difficult to replicate it. The basic core of this thing is actually the research on the brain nucleus, which allows the brain nucleus to convert mentality and vitality force. Right now, I'm actually still researching the fusion of the heart nucleus and the brain nucleus, the kind of weapon that explodes celestiality and kills directly." The corner of Fong Ping's mouth began to twitch. Was this old man an expert in weapons? He had actually started to research offensive weapons that use celestiality. Heaven and earth energy was the combination of mental energy and vitality energy. Pure mentality, on the other hand, was just an explosive pressure. It had the ability to suppress the weak, but it was useless against powerhouses. However, celestiality was effective against anyone. It depended on the problem of the lethality. LV Jun scratched his head and said, "That means that there's no way to use it on the battlefield?" As he spoke, the next moment, Zhang Tao appeared again. He took a look at the giant cannon in front of LV Jun and said after a while, "Back when you wanted to research and develop it, everyone thought that the chances were not high. I didn't expect you to really come up with it. This thing isn't useless. In fact, it's extremely useful. The key is still to keep it a secret and not be replicated. To achieve this, there's only one way." Everyone looked at him. Zhang Tao said helplessly, "Let the apex solidify mentality and set up the self-destruction program. When the apex solidifies, other true kings won't be able to detect the internal situation. Self-destruction is also to prevent others from taking it away and dismantling it. If it can be manufactured on a large scale, and we get a batch of brain nuclei, then it'll be very useful. Middle and low-ranked martial artists will have the ability to fight high-ranked powerhouses. It won't be like it is now, where it all depends on the victory or defeat of high-ranked martial artists." Zhang Tao felt even more emotional. Times had really changed. This thing had been researched for many years, but it had always been stuck at a crucial step, unable to be used in practice. But now, LV Jun had really come up with it. If there's an impasse brain nucleus and a large number of high-ranked martial artists can recharge it, then won't they have the combat strength of the apex? Zhang Tao suddenly thought of this. If it could be recharged and stored in advance, then it would be even more terrifying. At this moment, Zhang Tao could not help but look at LV Jun. This fellow was indeed a talent. In that case, it would be best to not let him go to the front line in future wars. As he said that, Zhang Tao looked at Fong Ping and said, "I'll try to solidify first. This time, maybe we can try it in Magic City's catacombs and try out the new weapon. If it can really be used on a large scale, then we can manufacture some in some cities. Maybe then we can release a batch of high-rank combat strength. Fong Ping nodded, a little solemn. If this thing was used well, then the strength of humans would skyrocket. But if that's the case, then there might be a large-scale conflict with the demons. Initially, forging divine weapons was only effective for high-ranked martial artists, so the production of divine weapons was limited. Humans killed the demons only for the divine weapons. How many high-ranked martial artists did humans have? If everyone had a divine weapon, it would be enough to kill a few thousand demons, right? A few thousand high-ranked demons were not a small number, but it was impossible for everyone to have a divine weapon. Moreover, there were a lot of demons. Sooner or later, there would be a saturation period for divine weapons. However, the suppression cannon was not saturated yet. The more the better. Moreover, it was a consumable item. In that case, there might really be a huge conflict with the demons. I don't know if it's good or bad. Fong Ping sighed in his heart. He did not expect LV Jinyan to say this. Chapter 815. In the Arsenal. Fong Ping looked at the suppression cannon and sighed. If the catacombs are weak, this thing is really good stuff. If it's thrown into the catacombs to expand their strength, the catacombs might start a war with the demons immediately. Unfortunately, the catacombs were strong. Humans dared not throw this to the catacombs. Unlike divine weapons, the manufacturing method was also passed down by humans. However, divine weapons could enhance a high-ranked martial artist's strength. In fact, there was still a limit. Moreover, even if high-ranked martial artists did not use divine weapons, they would still create other similar weapons. As for the suppression cannon, it could enhance the high-end combat strength of middle and low-rank martial artists. I'll use it first. Zhang Tao laughed and continued to stroke his beard. Recently, he had fallen in love with this feeling. It gave him a special sense of satisfaction. After stroking for a while, Zhang Tao looked at LV Jun and said, "Try not to convert vitality force. It's difficult to preserve vitality force and its strength is not strong. Try to convert imperishable matter into destructive force to attack and see if it works." LV Jun was stunned for a moment. He said in surprise, "But destructive force is only available to rank 8 and above, and everyone doesn't have many. Instead of using this to convert, it's better to use destructive force to fight." Rank 8 martial artists were reluctant to use destructive force themselves. If they still had to use the energy cannon to convert now, would it not be a big loss? Zhang Tao squinted and smiled. "There are many people, but there are many. If you can make a destruction cannon that can withstand the ultimate force, I'll think of a way to get a desperate demon core. When that time comes." Before he finished speaking, Fong Ping swallowed his saliva despite his initial dissatisfaction. He said in a low voice that using a large amount of imperishable matter, can it really explode the ultimate force? Elvesian pondered and said, "In theory, it can. However, the materials used to make it are not ordinary. The impasse realm was too powerful. The power of a peerless strike, the recoil force it had to endure was something that even the sturdiest alloy couldn't withstand. If you really want to make this kind of energy cannon, you need to use at least the same level of materials such as the ultimate bones and the like to make the energy cannon." Fong Ping swallowed and suddenly looked at Zhang Tao. Zhang Tao saw him looking at him and said with a faint smile, "Don't look at me. There is still hope to get the ultimate demon core." But not only did he need a demonic core, he also needed a skeleton. The difficulty was simply too high. To do so, he would need to kill a gigantic demonic beast. Kid, no one could guarantee that, not even the subduing heavenly king. Killing a peak-level demon, if no one interfered, could still be slowly worn down to death. But I can't kill him completely. Fong Ping's expression was one of regret. If only he had brought out a cannon that was as powerful as a pinnacle strike. He didn't dare to think about it. Back in Skyplant City, if I had this thing, I would have blown up 99 mineral veins with one shot. Of course, with Tian Yu in the city, it wasn't impossible to stop them. But this would allow him to possess the power of a desperate despair realm expert in advance. Also, he might be able to use the corpses of the pinnacle experts within the king battlefield. Fong Ping realized that there was still hope for him to possess some items with supreme combat strength in advance. Unfortunately, the difficulty was shockingly high. LV Jun looked at them curiously. He found that after he came out, the whole world had changed. Department head Zhang was in the legendary desperate situation. Not only that, but now he was talking about the demon core of the impasse realm, as if it could be obtained easily. Could it be that Minister Zhang had the strength to kill the absolute peak? Or perhaps, where had he met him before? Fong Ping, on the other hand, made him full of surprises. It seemed like this young man was highly valued by the absolute peak. LV Jun was still thinking when Zhang Tao said, "Create more suppression cannons. Rank 7 ones. Equip the Wuan military and MCMU. Let a large number of middle and low-rank martial artists join the battle in the rear." As for the brain core, MCMU has this thing, so does the government. It's difficult to obtain a complete brain core and heart core together, but there are still a lot of individual incomplete products in reserve. Zhang Tao was quite serious at this moment, saying quickly, "Not only the suppression cannons, since you can use the brain core to convert it into suppression, then you can also use the heart core to create a pure high-rank vitality attack. It should also have the combat strength of a high-ranked. Think of a way to research and develop it again. Whatever you need, just tell me. You can apply for all the manpower and material resources of the government. You can ask for anyone's help or participate in the research and development. It's quite important to research and develop it quickly. As for joining the battle, you don't have to join the battle anymore. In the future, you'll specialize in this." But LV Jun was a little hesitant. After some thought, he said, "But I'm a rank 9 martial artist, isn't it a little?" He wanted to say that it was a little wasteful. A powerhouse like me is an existence that can suppress an entire catacombs. Why don't powerhouses do this? Because powerhouses are too useful. Their status is too high. A rank 9 powerhouse can suppress the catacombs. Let me do research and development? If that's the case, breaking through to rank 9 after so much effort would be useless. Zhang Tao knew what he was going to say, so he said indifferently, "It's just a weak rank 9, it won't affect much. Besides, who said that research and development has no future? Maybe you'll become the first martial artist to walk out of a different path of origin. Times are advancing. Everyone has their own duties, and there's hope of stepping into the path of origin in every field. Maybe you'll step on a broader path and become the first top scientist. Anything is possible, isn't it?" LV Jun did not know whether to laugh or cry. "You're sending me away just like that?" He was still thinking, but Fong Ping said with a serious expression, "Old Liu, on behalf of MCMU, I officially invite you to be the honorary dean of MCMU Martial Arts University School of Production. In the past, in order to quickly increase combat strength, MCMU's 4 major academies were no longer worthy of their names. It's understandable that the School of Social Sciences was turned into a school of combat. In a war, martial arts is the priority. However, the School of Production represents logistics. MCMU has strong combat strength now, but it lacks the supply of logistics that we imagined. Dean Hu Mingyi has to bear some responsibility for this. Of course, it's also related to the fact that MCMU doesn't place too much emphasis on these things, so we're also responsible. In a war, the battle is actually about logistics. Nowadays, every time MCMU starts a war, the logistics aspect is a mess. This is very inappropriate. That's why MCMU needs an expert like you to provide us with some security." Beside him, Zhang Tao was a little speechless. "You want to snatch people? Is it necessary?" Fong Ping felt that it was necessary, so he said again, "Not only these, but some of MCMU's other industries have also fallen into a state of stagnation. For example, the planting of 100 honing fruits, vein molding flowers, and so on. Also, if we simply eat energy fruits directly, I actually feel that it's a waste most of the time. Ancient martial artists can create pills to restore mentality, pills to restore the golden body. Why can't we? We have to hold on every time. Large amounts of energy fruits are also eaten directly. I've obtained a lot of treasures like golden body fruit, dark moon grass, heavenly golden lotus, but I can only swallow them directly every time. It's a huge waste. As soon as he said this, Lu Zhen's expression changed. You've obtained a lot? Is this for real? Lu Zhen thought for a while and said, some things are indeed better to be made into pills with a reasonable combination. For example, the vitality pill, the bodybuilding pill, and the 11 pills. The raw materials are actually not considered expensive, and they are also very common. If they are consumed alone, the effect is too ordinary. However, if they are made into pills, they have a different effect, and the price-performance ratio is higher. When I was young, I also developed some pill formulas. The Resurrection Pills formula was developed by me, but I haven't come into contact with this in a long time. Fong Ping's face was blank. He could not help but glance at Wu Quishan, his eyes full of resentment. Wu Quishan knew what he meant and shrugged. Don't look at me. I can't ask this old man to help. Lu Zhen was indeed a talent. Why did the pill company give him shares? Was it not because he had contributed a lot? Lu Zhen had participated in the few modifications of the vitality pill. He had also developed a few types of pills on his own. The resurrection pill was developed by him. Before there were things like imperishable substances and life essence. The resurrection pill was a martial artist's life-saving straw. Fong Ping had been saved by the resurrection pill a few times. It was too common for martial artists to be injured. After many martial artists were injured, they could not recover. Then, they would really be crippled. The resurrection pill was extremely effective for internal injuries. Looking at it now, the price was actually not expensive. It was originally worth $5 million, but now it was cheaper. Almost all martial arts university students could afford it. Things like imperishable substances and life essence were limited, but the raw materials of the resurrection pill were relatively common. Fong Ping was a little speechless. Such an expert should have been captured to MCMAU and produced pills for MCMAU. Did MCMAU people need money to buy the resurrection pill? Who knew how much money the pill company had earned from this? In the end, they only gave Lu Zhen that little bit of shares. It was a big loss, okay? Now he felt that these pills were useless, but that was based on Fong Ping's supply. Fong Ping felt that he could not completely rely on himself. This would be irresponsible to MCMAU. Just like last time, without his supply, problems immediately arose. Moreover, his wealth was not unlimited. If one day he ran out of things and there was nothing left to snatch, what would he do then? When that time came, everyone would rely on him, and they would all be waiting for death. Thinking of this, Fong Ping looked at Lu Fengru beside him. Lu Fengru smiled helplessly. She could not control her own father. When the old vice-chancellor was still around, he had invited LV Zhen to MCMAU several times, but LV Zhen had never agreed. Even if his daughter was in MCMAU. Seeing this, Fong Ping suddenly laughed. Old Lu, you don't have to worry too much about MCMAU. It's fine even if you don't come. It made no difference whether he went to a government agency or stayed in MCMAU. But I think that some things are more convenient here. For example, I think Teacher Li understands the problem of converting qi and blood into spiritual energy the best. However, he is also very busy and can't go out every time to cooperate with you in your research. If you want to research energy cannons and pressure cannons, you'll need a lot of resources and the cooperation of a lot of middle and low-rank martial artists. It just so happens that MCMU's instructors and students are all free now, so there'll be plenty of people to cooperate with. Beside him, Zhang Tao glanced at him and smiled faintly. All right then, MCMAU it is. This fool! From old Zhang's perspective, Fong Ping was looking for trouble. Originally, he thought that LV Zhen would have to spend a lot of money on research and development, and he would have to spend a lot of money again. Now, MCMU would pay for it themselves. After it was done, he could still use the results of LV Zhen's research. As for Fong Ping asking him to collect fees, stop joking. Zhang Tao did not care about this at all. He said, to ensure LV Zhen's safety, the Wuhan military will send another 3,000 people to be stationed in MCMAU to protect LV Zhen. Don't you want people? I'll give them to you. Only 5,000 out of 38,000 people from the Wuhan military are here. I'll give you another 3,000. Do as you see fit. LV Jin. LV Jin was stunned. What's going on? I'm a rank 9 doing research on the surface. And you want to send 3,000 people to protect me? Don't MCMAU have tens of thousands of instructors and students? There are even a bunch of rank 9. Other than the Apex, no one else can threaten me, right? If the Apex really came, would these 3,000 Wuhan military be of any use? Fong Ping was about to reject hurriedly, but before he could speak, Zhang Tao disappeared. Not only did he disappear, but the huge cannon in front of LV Jin also disappeared in an instant. The few people around them were holding back their laughter. Zhang Tao is very generous. Not only did he leave LV Jin for you, but he also left 3,000 Wuhan military for you. Including the previous ones, 8,000 people are all for you. The team that old Zhang built in the education ministry for 30 years, he gave you 1/5 of them all at once. I don't want. Fong Ping only said these words after old Zhang left. For a moment, he felt very miserable. I don't want it. Your Wuhan military is almost more than MCMAU students. 8,000 people to be stationed in MCMAU. Old Zhang must be crazy. Protect LV Jin. Protect LV Jin. You might as well send Begonghai here. The education ministry only had these few rank 9. Begonghai, Xie Yifan, Wang Qinghai, and Old Zhang. This was the education ministry's rank 9 allocation. Fong Ping could not help but criticize. Isn't Old Zhang very generous? Send Xie Yifan and Begonghai here together. I promise I'll take them. While Fong Ping was criticizing, Wang Qinghai and Wu Quishan looked at each other. Wang Qinghai sent a voice transmission to Wu Quishan, saying with a smile, "What do you think the minister means?" As for taking advantage, there was no such thing. Zhang Tao could afford to support the Wuhan military. He was not that poor. Wu Quishan was silent for a while, then sent a voice transmission too. Does the minister want Fong Ping to take over his position? Is this necessary? He's powerful. If he's willing to stay in this position, even 1,000 years won't be a problem. It's hard to say, Wang Qinghai said in a low voice. The minister actually wants to step down. It's been a few years. A few years ago, he felt that he shouldn't continue to be the minister. He's thinking of going to the catacombs for a long time. Wang Qinghai sighed, but other than the minister, who can support this position? It's too difficult. The education ministry is in charge of martial arts. All the martial artists in the world are actually under the jurisdiction of the education ministry. The central government is in charge of civil affairs. The 3 ministries and 4 houses are in charge of war. Among the 3 ministries and 4 houses, the military department is nominally in charge of war, but in reality, it's the education ministry. Commander Li, Mayor Nan, and the others are powerful, but they are not the type to coordinate the overall situation. Their minds are not on this. The others are not qualified either. For the past few decades, the minister has been trembling with fear, as if walking on thin ice. The neo-martial arts era was started by Chun and Shun. However, these two have been staying in the catacombs for a long time. 30 years ago, Sino-Nation martial arts were not as prosperous as today. At that time, there were not many rank 9 martial artists. It was only when the minister took over that the glory of the neo-martial arts era was born. Rank 9 martial artists emerged one after another. High-rank martial artists broke through 100, then 1,000. 30 years ago, middle-ranked martial artists could lead the war. 30 years later, middle-ranked martial artists are as numerous as carps in the river. Too many to count. From Wang Qinghai's words, his worship toward Zhang Tao had reached an extreme degree. The glory of the new martial era was not created by Chun or Shun, nor was it created by Li Jun or Nan Yunyue. It was Zhang Tao. He did not even care about those false reputations. The outside world thought that Li Jun was stronger than him and that the military department had a higher status than the education ministry. Even the success of the neo-martial arts era was attributed to Chun and Shun. Zhang Tao rarely cared about these things. Those who were not familiar with Zhang Tao would not be able to imagine all this. They would not know what he was shouldering. He was also the most temperamental and the easiest to talk to. In the past, when Tian Mu scolded him the moment he opened his mouth, Zhang Tao would just laugh it off. He actually liked people like Tian Mu. Tian Mu scolded him because he knew that Zhang Tao was easy to talk to and had a mild temper. Although it was a scolding, it was also a form of recognition. After Zhang Tao, who was qualified to take over his position, this was not glory or status. This was a kind of responsibility, a monstrous responsibility. Could Fang Ping bear it? Did he have the qualifications? Even if Fang Ping became an absolute peak, even if Fang Ping really led MCMEU to become stronger, he still did not have the qualifications. He was still far from it. After hearing Wang Qinghai's words, Wu Quishan glanced at Fang Ping, who was still mumbling. He smiled and said, "Let's wait and see. Right now, he indeed does not have the qualifications. He is still far from it. But in the future, who can say for sure? The minister doesn't have to be so impatient. I think the minister has the intention of hastening his change. There's no need for that. He has the temper of a donkey. The more you arrange and nurture him, the more he dislikes it and the more he wants to do the opposite. Actually, it was very good before. This kid did not say it, but in his heart, he really respects and admires the minister. He knows it very well. But after the battle in Magic City, this kid's stubborn temper came out. He's still very uncomfortable now. Wang Qinghai did not know whether to laugh or cry. With his temper, he's really not suitable to be the Minister of Education, even if his strength is at the peak. But he's still young. He's very malleable. The minister has high hopes for him. I hope this kid won't let the minister's good intentions down. All these years, the minister has rarely expressed such great recognition for a martial artist." Wu Quishan laughed suddenly, probably because he saw his own past. When he was young, the minister was not a kind person. He was not as easy to talk to as he is now. I heard from Vice-Chancellor Yu that the minister at that time also had a personality that was more selfish than public. He also wanted to reap benefits when he saw them. I heard that 40 years ago, he even wanted to start his own sect and declare independence. He almost fell out with the Minister of Education at that time because of this. In the end, when the old minister died, he was greatly affected. That's how Zhang Tao is now. Think about it. Does the Fang Ping now resemble him in the past? Of course, if he entrusted the great cause of Sino Nation to Fang Ping before he died. That would be even more like him. Wang Qinghai almost laughed out loud. This Wu Quishan guy really dared to say anything. Was he not afraid that the minister would punish him if he heard it? Of course, he was still a powerhouse among the rank 9 powerhouses. Unless old Zhang forcefully broke through, otherwise, it would be difficult for him to at least spy on them silently. This time no one cursed it out loud. They probably did not hear it. Wang Qinghai smiled and did not continue. He glanced at Fang Ping, who was still in a daze, and shook his head slightly. He hoped that one day, this kid could become like the minister. It was too difficult. Zhang Tao's strength did not lie in his strength, but in other aspects. As for Fang Ping, he still could not see these characteristics. December 27th, Magic City. The Catacombs passageway entrance. Fang Ping glanced at the passageway and said suddenly, "Tear down the alloy house." Not just the alloy house. Tear down all the buildings on the ground, directly exposing the passageway entrance. Having said that, Fang Ping looked around and said, "Where's that uncle who guards the door? Let him come. We'll tear down this alloy house together." Everyone looked at him. No one said anything. Fang Ping said in a low voice, "If we win this battle, the alloy house will no longer exist. If we lose this battle, the alloy house will not be able to withstand a rank 9. It will be meaningless to exist. Instead of wasting it here, why don't we tear it down and forge weapons and armor to increase the strength of human martial artists? Moreover, this time, there are tens of thousands of martial artists ready to go. This passageway, this underground hall, they are too narrow. Directly transform this place into a plaza. Dig open the passageway between MCMEU and this place and turn it into a main road. MCMU people can come here to participate in the battle at any time." Fong Ping spoke for a while. Not far away, Zhang Tao nodded lightly. In the crowd, the military general Su Mafu saw this with a complicated expression. He also nodded slightly. Soon, someone went to the ground to call the gatekeeper. In the past, when Fong Ping first entered the catacombs, 2 people guarded the door. The first time he came, Fong Ping said he wanted to tear this thing down. After Fong Ping entered the catacombs for the first time, Scarface was never seen again. There was only one person left to guard the door by himself, and no one else was added. After a while, the gatekeeper arrived. This middle-aged uncle walked and walked. Suddenly, he could not move. His eyes were a little wet. He did not know why he was so emotional. However, when he saw Fong Ping in front of the alloy house, he suddenly had the urge to cry. It was indescribably complicated. Uncomfortable? Carefree? Or something else? The gatekeeper had been guarding for years and years. He had seen people enter, people leave, people go in but never come out. He had seen too much. The gatekeepers had also changed one after another. He was not the first-generation gatekeeper. As for the people before him, where had they gone? They had all died in another world in a passageway. Are we going to tear it down? Don't we need people to guard the door anymore? The gatekeeper's eyes were red. He continued walking. Soon, he walked in front of Fong Ping. Fong Ping looked at him. The gatekeeper also looked at Fong Ping. After a long time, his mouth opened wide, revealing an ugly smile. It was a smile that was a little strange. Are we really going to tear it down? Fong Ping chuckled. If we're not going to tear it down, why should we keep it? Uncle, do you remember what I said back then? Of course. The gatekeeper looked a little nostalgic. He said softly, on the 20th of June, 2009, MCMAU wanted to reform. Tang Feng brought a group of newcomers into the catacombs. You were among them, the only rank 3 martial artist. Your first time here, the gatekeeper could not help but laugh. My first time here, when I saw the alloy house, my eyes changed. They were almost shining. Scar asked you if you wanted to tear down the alloy house. Actually, it was not the first time he said this. He had said this to many people. It was a kind of encouragement. I remember you replied that you wouldn't like the alloy house anymore. At that time, Scar was just joking. A year and a half. The gatekeeper murmured. Did Scar think about this day? Fong Ping also laughed. Uncle Scar left early. It's a pity that he didn't see this scene. But he did say that he went to the catacombs to catch beauties. Maybe he's still catching beauties now. He hasn't finished yet. Uncle Scar is really greedy. Let's not care about him. We'll tear down this house. When he comes back and sees that the alloy house is gone, he'll probably be dumbfounded. Huh? The gatekeeper laughed loudly. At this moment, he was indescribably carefree. He suddenly shouted, Then we'll tear it down. Why do we need a gatekeeper? At this point in the war, humans are almost completely defeated. We're just comforting ourselves. Tear it down. The gatekeeper was extremely straightforward. He threw a punch, and the alloy house sparkled with sparks. Fong Ping was even more straightforward than him. He went up and threw a punch, punching a big hole in the alloy house directly. Awesome. Fong Ping laughed. This is so awesome. I've long said that I wanted to tear this thing down. I waited for a year and a half. I really don't like it anymore. Both of them laughed, smashing the alloy house madly. Fong Ping punched a hole with each punch. In his hands, the alloy house was like a piece of paper. The gatekeeper also did not care about the blood dripping from his hands. He punched again and again. It was painful, but he did not care. He smashed this house and got rid of the fear and terror in his heart. He cut off all means of retreat. He could only win. A great war was about to begin. Other than comforting himself, what was the use of a house? The alloy house was not the last line of defense. Humans did not need this useless line of defense. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.